Avem o singură viață, de ce să o pierdem cu detalii care nu-s necesare? Umplem iar pahare până la refuz, yeah. Așa îmi vine și mă și amuz uneori. Avem o singură viață, de ce să o pierdem cu detalii care nu-s necesare? Umplem iar pahare până la refuz, yeah. Așa îmi vine și mă și amuz uneori. Nu știu încă de unde am venit, ce caut aici. Plecam cu coada între picioare, acum mă scap de afiș. N-aveam răbdare să ascult deloc, acum tac. Și răspund după ce înțeleg ce-ai zis. Se simte timpul cum trece sau noi cum trecem prin timp. Trăiesc momentul de față ca să-mi creez amintiri. Țin de familie, de prieteni, de cine-i loial. Restul voia sorții, spui să mă cheamă propriu destin. Totuși te simt, o singură șansă avem cu sorii. Simplim focul deschis, e mult mai greu când ai un scop de atins. Te uiți pe lângă tine, vezi cine a supraviețuit. Din ei se luptă să trăiască cum ar trebui. O inimă mare, doi plămâni ca să respir. O inimă mare, mă inspiră zi de zi. Fă din șansa ta un vis, fă din șansa ta un vis împlinit. Fiindcă avem o singură viață, de ce să o pierdem cu detalii care nu-s necesare? Umplem iar pahare până la refuz, yeah. Așa îmi vine și mă și amuz uneori. Avem o singură viață, de ce să o pierdem cu detalii care nu-s necesare? Umplem iar pahare până la refuz, yeah. Așa îmi vine și mă și amuz uneori. Ce ale, nu știu ce să aleg. Dar ce ale. Nu te teme de moarte că nu-ți mai trăiești viața. Pune zâmbetul pe față dimineața. Du-te, ia legume fresh, fă-și viața. Pune doar ce trebuie în trupul ăla ca un rasa. Niște mișcare ca să ungă carcasa. Binecuvântare nu e lumea prea razna. Alegerile noastre ne fac să simțim asta. Atât de multe drumuri eu, yeah. De alei. Dar ce ale.
Știi, avem o singură viață și
nu știu ce să aleg.
merită să ne stresăm în fiecare zi pentru toate mizeriile.
Avem o singură viață, de ce să o pierdem cu detalii care nu-s necesare? Umplem iar pahare până la refuz, yeah. Așa îmi vine și mă și amuz uneori. Avem o singură viață, de ce să o pierdem cu detalii care nu-s necesare? Umplem iar pahare până la refuz, yeah. Așa îmi vine și mă și amuz uneori. One life. Learn it, love it, live it. Avem o singură viață, de ce să o pierdem cu detalii care nu-s necesare? Umplem iar pahare până la refuz, yeah. Așa îmi vine și mă și amuz uneori. Avem o singură viață, de ce să o pierdem cu detalii care nu-s necesare? Umplem iar pahare până la refuz, yeah. Așa îmi vine și mă și amuz uneori. Nu știu încă de unde am venit, ce caut.
Hi and welcome everyone to another stream on this channel. Expected Banter, the new name of the show, since not everybody can be here on Wednesday. Here we have another special guest, FPL the English Aussie. Thank you so much for being here. How are you, mate? Firstly.
Yeah, good, mate. Thanks for having me on the show. Looking forward to getting into some chat about FPL. I've been following your channel for a while, so yeah, I've been really enjoying your work.
Yeah, let me just see. I think that your video blocked for a second. Let me just try to fix it. By the way, welcome everyone here. How are you? Yeah. Please let me know, man. I think that your camera blocked. Let me just try to fix it.
Oh, yeah. I can see on the screen.
I'm not sure if it's from your camera or not. Let me just refresh it. Evening, guys. Hope you're all good. Hi, DM McDonald. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Yeah, we just came back from work, so today on this stream we're going to discuss about everything pretty much you need to know about Gameweek 9. We're going to look at my team, at Adam's team. We're going to discuss the main teams and the main statistics for this season, and also at the end we're going to have also a fun topic. But yeah, let me just try to fix. I had Salah as triple captain this week. Sick is an understatement. Yeah.
Salah as a triple captain this week, an absolute nightmare.
I mean, even yeah, even as a captain, I feel for you. But again, to be honest, I even don't know. I don't think that it was such a bad pick if you wanted to go different. So I think that you were also, if after we watched the game again, I feel like you were really unlucky with Salah to got nothing against Manchester United. He had a lot of chances. Maybe if you try to re-enter Adam.
Yeah, sure, mate. No worries.
I don't know. Yeah, sorry guys, technical difficulties, but we're going to be back. So hi also GF Subramanian, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate you guys joining the stream. Yeah, just a second. Yeah, I think that we're okay now. Yeah. Hello, by the way. Hello again.
Hey guys. Sorry, technical issues probably.
Yeah, no problem. So, McDonald, I had Mateta and Gabriel, and not even they could make a difference. I mean, you're in a pretty good spot if you had Mateta, I would say.
Mateta and Gabriel. That's got to be a good game week, surely.
Yeah, but triple captain Mohamed Salah, surely it must feel bad.
That's all right. If it makes you feel better, I lost a bet on one of my live streams with one of my subscribers, and he made me triple captain Virgil van Dijk in game week 5. So that was a 4-pointer times 3.
Nice. This season?
This season, yeah. This season.
Okay. So what McDonald is also saying, then we're going to discuss about our topics. I've already taken a -12 for next week. Okay. Salah sold in a rage. I mean, I could get that. Gakpo in, João Pedro and Gyökeres out, Haaland and Voldemort in. Bench boost active with Leeds versus West Ham and Burnley versus Wolves. Thoughts? I mean, again, I'm not usually that kind of manager who gets to a rage transfer, a -12 or something like that. What about you, Adam?
No, I'm pretty conservative with my hits. I'm one of those guys that if I can avoid taking a hit, I would like to avoid taking a hit. I think if you want your team set up in a certain way for a long period of time, then I'm probably okay with taking -4s. Or in the case where you're maybe on a blank game week and you don't have enough players, then I think -4 is worth it because effectively it's really only a -2 on that week. But sometimes you can take big hits and they can work out for the best. So
yeah, I mean the transfers are on point. I mean, if you didn't have Haaland yet, probably he's a good transfer. Gakpo in, also Voldemort in. Yeah, the transfers are decent. Again, could you waited maybe a little bit more before selling João Pedro? maybe, I guess.
I've got to say, if you had to take a -8 to get Haaland in, I probably would have taken the -8. He's just unbelievable this season. This season is his best start over 8 game weeks that he's ever had in FPL, which, if you remember, his first season in the Premier League was absolutely outrageous. He'd scored like 2 hat-tricks in the first 4 games. Like, it's crazy to think that he's got more points at this stage than in any other season.
Yeah, and he's always starting really good every season, pretty much. So
And I always forget to have him in game week 1. I always go for Salah.
yeah, same. Took Gay out for Trafford based on Palace away at Arsenal. Looking to work myself around to bring in Saka and Munoz in time. Yeah, probably. Crystal Palace players from Game Week 10 are going to be interesting. And Saka the same. Again, probably I would not take any more hits this Game Week, but yeah. The way I'm rationalizing it, it will be more long-term at this rate, and I feel I can make the points back in time. Yeah, definitely. I agree with this. I'm not sure if I took a -12 ever, but -8s, yes, I did that a lot of times. And if that's going to improve your team massively in the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 game weeks, then it could work out, but obviously it can backfire also. Almost every game week a defender is holding. Who is going to be the next player? I mean, I'm going to let Adam answer this question.
GV, how are you? How are you, mate? My opinion is it's going to be Daniel Munoz, and it might not be in game week 9 against Arsenal, but I just have a suspicion that we need to be getting Munoz into our teams at the moment. He's unbelievably attacking and can pick up defensive contributions.
Yeah.
Palace can keep clean sheets. He could easily end up with a goal, an assist, clean sheet, and DefCon, and end up on like a 20-pointer for the week. So he is somebody that I'm definitely looking at considering bringing into my team ASAP. And it might even be in game week 10, I'm thinking of perhaps even just a lateral switch from Lacroix to Munoz.
Yeah, it's crazy what Munoz can do this season with DefCons, right? Yeah, obviously, since the season started, I felt at least like we didn't have a lot of attacking defenders. And now we can see a glimpse of what a really good one can do with Daniel Munoz. So yeah, but we're going to discuss more about that when we discuss also about the DefCon. Haaland is poor against Aston Villa. Do you think it is worth giving Semenyo the armband? I would say, I mean, Semenyo is playing against Forest, right? I would never captain Semenyo over Haaland, to be honest with you. I know that, I mean, maybe he has a bad record against Aston Villa, but Aston Villa from this season are just not the same like they were last season.
Yeah, I think it is difficult to go against Haaland in the form he's in at the moment. And to be honest, every week I have a consideration and I think about it and I'm like, who could I go with if I wanted to go against Haaland? And every week I end up just captaining Haaland because he's just been unbelievable. And then at the end of the week, I'm always happy with my decision because he's scored in every game week, really, that I've had him as captain. So difficult to go against. I think Semenyo has been great this season, though. I myself at the beginning of the season had my doubts about his finishing specifically and voiced that on a lot of my streams, but I had to quickly tuck my tail behind my legs and bring him into my team early on after he just had so many different routes to points. And the fact that he was taking penalties with Kluivert off the pitch, that he's been on some free kicks. He's one of the targets that they aim for off corners. He has the potential to pick up those extra 2 DefCon points. So if there is someone you are going to go against Haaland with, Semenyo is probably one of the best options. But for me, it just would be too difficult to go against Erling Haaland.
Yeah, I agree. Also, he's scoring every game week. And also, I used my wildcard in game week 6 when it was, yeah, probably the best game to use your triple captain right on Haaland. He played against Burnley, I think. He scored the hat-trick or something like that. And then I just thought, I mean, I could have used my triple captain this game, to be honest with you, against Everton. But yeah, you just need to nail that decision. At the moment, his form is hard to pass. Uh, the things can change quickly in football in FPL. We saw exactly the same situation last season, if you remember, when Haaland was not scoring any goal. Mohamed Salah was uh, on fire, and everybody just kept and kept keeping Haaland because you get stuck in a situation. And I'm happy I didn't get stuck in this situation this year. When Haaland was started to score, I just knew that I need to sell Salah and be done with that.
Yeah, that's right. Are you a form man, a fixtures man, or a bit of both?
I would more say that I'm a fixture guy, but again, at the moment, as I said before, I'm just going to captain Haaland this game week, even against Aston Villa. Uh, it's hard to pass on this form. So, and also you don't have a lot of good alternatives because, for an example, if someone like Palmer would be playing good, someone like Salah, Isak would be playing okay, then you have some considerations. But right now you have what? Bukayo Saka against Crystal Palace, maybe Semenyo, not so exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
Hi Cody, hi Abdullah. Thank you so much, guys, for joining the stream. So we're going to move now, and I think that I'm just going to show you Adam's team, and then we're going to move from that. I'm going to let you talk a little bit about your team as I watch it, and then yeah, we can discuss a little bit. So
Sorry, there's a little bit of delay just it coming up on my side.
yeah, no problem, no problem. Now your team is on screen. You have 2 free transfers and 0.2 million in the bank.
Yeah, so I think for my team, and maybe if I talk it through, like pretty happy with Raya and Dubravka in goal. Obviously got the pick wrong this week with Raya 6 points via Dubravka 9. But I think when you've got Raya at 5.5 mil as a goalkeeper in your team, you're generally going to go with him most weeks. I don't think I'm really ever going to be playing Dubravka unless I'm a bench boost. I know. I think there's a lot of discussion about whether a 5.5 million goalkeeper is worth it in your side, but I would say this season, with the fact that Salah's almost, I would say, not really an option with the form he's in, with the form the Liverpool attack is in, it really allows you to have a lot of money that you can spread across the rest of the team. And I don't have really a problem for money in this team. I say, like, I'm pretty comfortable in being able to afford all the different price points. So yeah, I'm pretty happy continuing with Raya in goal for the foreseeable future, especially given Arsenal are the best defence in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Also, it must feel bad for you. Also, I had the same goalkeepers, and Dubravka got a 9-pointer this game week, and obviously I played Raya because, of course. So yeah, you use your wildcard in Game Week 4, I see, and you're freed in Game Week 3.
Yeah, so I always had this strategy from the beginning of the season. I looked at the fixtures and I felt like the first 2 fixtures were very different to the rest of the fixtures. I wanted to try and target the first 2 fixtures, have a good game week, be able to then use my free hit in 3 where I thought I wasn't like, I think it was Arsenal game weeks 1 and 2. I wanted to target. They had a really nice fixtures. Game week 3, I didn't really like the swing at that point. So I thought, use my free hit, give myself an extra week to understand what's going on, see the sort of tactical setups that the different managers are using, and just give myself an extra week before I then could see who I wanted on a wild card.
Yeah.
And personally, like, I think the strategy went really well. I just unfortunately didn't pick the best player. Like, the 1 and 2 just didn't go as I would have liked. But I felt like since then, my team's been looking really nice. I've been sort of ahead of the curve with a lot of other people. Like I've had the Enzo, Semenyo, Haaland in my team early. I had double Arsenal in there early. So I was able to sort of start picking up rank after then. It is quite amusing because my partner has basically plays FPL, but asked for my advice on who she should pick each week. So she has had the exact same team as me since Wildcard in Gameweek 4, and she's 30,000th in the world. So she
nice.
picked in Gameweek 1, and yeah, it just goes to show that. And one thing that I've been really big on is the beginning of the season. That's where there is the most variance in FPL. And understandably so, because as you now start to get towards game week 8, 9, 10, 11, the options that are more obvious become a lot clearer. And then people start to naturally move towards a template team in FPL. So I wanted to make sure that I tried to target those early weeks, given that we had 2 this year, and try and get sort of a head start on everybody else. Yeah, so I mean, if I just asked my girlfriend and she'd have told me who to pick the first 2 weeks, I'd have been top 30k in the world. But yeah, apart from that, that was sort of my strategy in those first few weeks, is to use the chips, try and get ahead early. And then I felt like my understanding of football, the later the season goes on, I'm going to be doing better than a lot of people that start to fall away, given that I'm a lot more engaged.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Your strategy. I played FPL for, I don't know, eight years or something like that, and I don't remember a season when I was so sure with my Game Week 1 squad, because a lot of things are changing. For an example, how a lot of us started with Watkins, Rogers, players like that this season, because how good they were in preseason, and a lot of things, I don't know. For example, someone like Frimpong, even myself, I thought that he would be a gem in FPL this season, but the things are just not going at the moment. So yeah, it makes sense to use your wildcard early on. Obviously, try to catch some price rises, try to see how those teams are going to play actually. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. What's your rank at the moment? I'm not sure if you
I
said it.
am 960k or 950k. I am at the moment. So top 1 mil. I've been top 1 mil the last couple of weeks. Got a really small green arrow this week. I'm relatively happy with where I am. I'd probably like to be a little bit higher. But game week 8, I think last year I was probably around here, and I still managed to finish top 50k. So I think there's a long way to go in the season. I think it is a little bit different this season. I actually think FPL, with the introduction of the 2 lots of chips, it is going to keep managers engaged a little bit longer. So I actually think the people that have used their chips at the beginning of the season that normally fade away a little bit might still be involved as we get to the later season. So it might be a little bit harder this year to pick up the rank as you go on in comparison to previous years of FPL. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, probably. And also the introduction of defensive contributions maybe is going to impact that. Because obviously more players now have more routes to points, let's say.
Correct. And I think, to be honest, I'm a big fan of the defensive contributions. I think it's been really interesting to be able to pick different players. I think potentially a little bit unfortunately for FPL, the amount of defensive contributions this year, I think I read a stat somewhere, has been about 40% higher at this stage than it was in previous season. So it's probably made it a little bit overpowered. But I did a video on defensive contributions at the beginning of the year before it even started, and I said that it was going to be an overpowered stat this season. And I thought that people really needed to pay attention to it early, because otherwise it might get a little bit out of hand a little bit quickly. And I think it's definitely shown that it's an important factor in picking your teams. But I think there is still and maybe a little bit more so for the midfielders, you've got a little bit few more cheaper options this season that you can have in, because of the defensive contributions, and also because really the midfielders haven't been performing particularly well. And from a defensive side, I think you've got to be almost big at the back is back this year. I think you need to have guys that have the ability to pick up those defensive contribution points. And you also still want to be targeting clean sheets like you would do in a normal season. So fixture swings plus DefCon are going to be the important thing for the defenders. But I think you can afford to spend your money there this year. You really can, because you're able to go a little bit cheaper in the midfield. And we've got a lot of 4 million defenders that are playing and can pick up defensive contribution points,
Yes.
which to me means, and like, I guess if we're looking at my team here, like this is going to change next week to João Pedro coming out and either a Krupi Jr., an Obi of Man United coming in for a 4.5/4.3 million striker, because I think strikers are just not really the way to go this season. I think it's easy to have 2 strikers, 1 bench fodder, and then be able to rotate your defense and midfield. You can play 4 at the back. You could even play 5 at the back this year. And you're probably more likely to hit more times on defenders and midfielders that can pick up DefCon than a random mid-price striker to score a goal. So I feel much more comfortable with a 4-5-1, a 3-5-2, 4-4-2, 4-5-1 sort of formation this year, rather than a 4-3-3 or a 3-4-3.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. With the forwards, as you mentioned before, that was how I saw it also before. Now it looks like some forwards are emerging right now. If it's someone like Krupi Jr. or these cheap strikers, but also someone like Voldemort, Mateta. Again, I agree. If someone like João Pedro is not delivering at the moment, I'm not sure. When the season started, I need to have my hands up here. I didn't thought that defensive contributions were going to be that important like they are right now. And I still think that a factor to that is that we didn't have a lot of good attacking defenders, and everybody just gone with Senesi, Anderson, and these cheap defenders. It makes sense. You can spread your money elsewhere, and definitely you can afford even a Salah, Haaland, Saka draft if you want, if they are going to start performing at some point. And yeah, maybe that's the way to go. Personally, yeah, I'm picking defensive contribution defenders, but at the moment I'm still not I don't know, so excited to play 4 at the back or 5 at the back. Maybe that's my mistake.
No, I mean, I think there are different strategies that you can go for, and I'm not saying this is the right one. I just think, for me, looking at the analysis that I've seen so far, I think it's difficult to consistently pick a week that strikers are going to score goals. I think Mateta has looked nice. I mean, the hat-tricks obviously swayed our opinion a little bit. Palace are actually one of the 3 teams in the Premier League with the lowest possession. So they are almost playing in a way similar to how Nottingham Forest played last year, very much on the counter-attack, direct attacking style of football. And I do think teams will change the way they play tactically against Crystal Palace in the future, and make it a little bit more difficult for them to get the chances that they are getting at the moment. I still think Mateta is a nice option. Like, Palace obviously have a really good fixture run from 10, Star as well. But for me, it's those sort of Munozes that really interest me, that have the attacking potential, that have the DefCon potential, and a good defensive team.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just ask some questions. So McDonald said everyone thought Villa and Forest would be solid. Yeah, again, Forest, the team I didn't mention. They were horrible. And nobody really thought Bournemouth would have had such a good start. Same with Sunderland as well. Yeah, Bournemouth were at some point this weekend the first place in the Premier League, which is just crazy, considering that they lost all their defense. Yeah, some of these things you just can't predict, I guess. Cody, Damn, green arrow by 1 point for me. Got pretty close at the end there. They should give +4 points to players who hit 20 DefCons in a game.
Ooh,
That's an interesting idea. Probably, maybe a topic to be discussed next season. You would
don't know
love
about
that, right?
I don't know about that. I think it's already overpowered as much as it is now. 20 is just going to make it worse.
I mean, I'm not sure how many players hit that this season. Probably there are a few.
I don't think many, but I think it's probably Van Dijk,
Yeah.
probably Senesi, and maybe some of the Sunderland defenders, to be honest.
Yeah, as JV is saying, Welbeck and Igor Thiago also are doing well for the strikers. Yeah, Igor Thiago, a striker who gone under the radar. I was interested in him before the season start. Then I don't know, I just didn't pick him, and now he scored some goals in the last games.
Yeah, my brother's had the Igor Thiago against the Wild, and he keeps telling me what a great pick he is, which has been quite amusing. And I keep talking about how strikers are going out of the game in FPL, and he keeps going, "Don't worry, I've got Igor Thiago."
Yeah. Hi, Andrew Barton. Thanks a lot for joining the stream. DefCon has killed the excitement out of the game. Flare players in general are no longer the way forward. I don't think that's just because of defensive contributions. Yeah, it is something maybe because not a lot of players are, I don't know, performing well at the moment, but it is just 8 game weeks, so a lot of things could still happen. I think, yeah, I mean, it is an opinion probably. For some people, defensive contributions are just great. Another way to get points in FPL, maybe that's interesting for them. And for others who are more just wanted to play the simple game, I understand maybe it's not the same.
Yeah, I think I totally understand that opinion, to be honest, because I think it's a twofold a little bit. That yes, it probably has nullified some of the excitement in the game, but also that those flair midfielders have not really been performing this season, like you said, and their underperformance, along with these like 5 million, 6 million DefCon guys totting up points, has mean that those guys are at the top of the leaderboards at the moment. Everyone's looking, going, "What's going on?"
Yeah, and also Caicedo scoring every game week didn't really help us. Didn't really help us to pick Flair midfielders.
Unbelievable that is.
He's
got to go in the team, surely.
At some point, I wanted to have Caicedo on my wildcard team in Game Week 6, but I just look at how my team would look like in the next game weeks, and he would always be on my bench. So I just didn't pick him after all. So maybe it's better than to have him with 15 points on my bench, I guess. Janitor's job getting recognized DefCons for center backs. Yeah, I guess. Okay, so somebody in my block is doing some reparations. Hopefully that's not going to hear on stream. Okay, so going back to your team, you said that you want to downgrade João Pedro to Krupi and make another transfer, or just...
Yeah, so I think I've got the 2 free transfers. I think one's going to be João Pedro down to Krupi. It could be Obi. I'm just not sure whether I need the extra 0.2 million. I think it will probably be Krupi because I think I don't need an additional 0.2. And then in the midfield, it's probably either Kudus or Anderson that are coming out of my team. Most likely Kudus. There's a few options that I've been thinking about. I haven't 100% decided. Controversial opinion is I'm looking at Bruno Fernandes at the moment, bringing in. And I think, like, for me, that Bruno pick is just, I think a lot of people, to be honest, but I just think he's got a lot of routes to points. He's got penalties, he's got free kicks, he's got set pieces. He can get defensive contributions. He's got really good baseline BPS. So he easily picks up those bonus when he does very little, as we saw this week with the assist and the bonus. So he's not like, and he's not been he's not performed well. So, and he's still what, third or fourth in midfielders for most points scored. So I mean, he scores those 2 penalties, or he has a good game, and we're going to be looking at him a little bit differently. But there are some other options as well that I am considering at the moment. I don't know if you want to talk a bit about Bruno, or if you want me to go on to those.
Yeah, I have Bruno into my team. Wasn't nice when he missed that penalty 2 game weeks ago. Yeah, I somehow kept him against Liverpool because obviously Enzo Fernandez wasn't fit to start. And again, he's just that kind of player who, if he's going to get an assist, and even without any attacking returns, he can get bonus points. So yeah, he's really good at that. I'm not sure if he's worth 9 million. That's the only thing I maybe don't like about Bruno. And yeah, that he's not playing as a number 10 or a more advanced role. Yeah, I'm not sure at the moment if I'm going to keep him. I'm not forced to sell him. Definitely he's a decent option. If I would go for a Man United midfielder, I would also be looking at someone like Mbeumo, I think, for the future maybe.
Yeah, I see your point, and the 9 million is a lot of money. My thoughts are, it's like, we're not really very price restrained this season, and unless you're considering Haaland Salah double up around game week 12, game week 13, which I have been, and my team is structured in a way that I can get to Salah in game week 12, 13. So if I do pick Bruno this week, that means that there's no way of getting to Salah in 12, 13. So I've got to make the call really this week whether I would look at Salah. And I think, having watched Liverpool season, I'd probably go for Gakpo over that fixture run at the moment, just because I think you can do so much more with your team for that money. No, DM McDonald, I'm not planning on bench boosting. It's just my bench is just way too strong. Way too strong.
He's asking who you're going to bench, because we see all your players on the screen.
Who I'm going to bench? Yeah, that's a good question.
I would say, let me just try to see. I don't know, someone like Anderson probably I would bench.
I mean, be benching Anderson, Rodon, and probably, it depends on who I move Kudus for. At the moment, I've got Kudus, Rodon, Anderson on the bench, and I'm playing 4-3-3, which I've obviously spoken about not doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll move João Pedro out for Krupi. I'll probably bench Krupi, Rodon, and Anderson, and then whoever I bring in for Kudus will play in the midfield, and I'll be playing 4-4-2.
Okay. Yeah, interesting approach. We're going to talk also about my team. I'm just not going to sell João Pedro in Game Week 9. I'm going to see what to do with him next Game Week. But you have a pretty good team, as you said. You're like before the curve. You have Saka in place, you have Enzo Fernandez, you have obviously Semenyo, you have Voldemad. Yeah, you have your double up for Arsenal. Lacroix was one defender who probably disappointed a little bit from Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I think my defense, annoyingly, is I was planning to make it really strong and not want to transfer anybody out of there, and I've just got the 50-50s a little bit wrong. I think I don't think Lacroix was the best Crystal Palace option. When I bought him at the time, he looked like he had probably the best stats for DefCon.
Yeah.
And I liked him a lot. Now I would say, or I would pick Munoz, because he could just go humongous. But if you didn't have the money for that, I would go Richards over Lacroix at this stage. I think his DefCon numbers are a lot better. Maybe we'll go on to look at that a little bit later. And then similarly, Calafiori, I think I just had a bit of blood rush when I picked him. It was a very fast transfer. I remember making this hastily. And at the time, I probably preferred Timber. And I knew, like, Gabriel was the pick. That he was just a little bit more money. and now like he's the one I would go for if I had an Arsenal defender pick back. And same really for Van Dijk. I don't hate that pick. He just sort of hasn't really. The Liverpool defence, we'll go on to talk about that later, I'm sure, just hasn't really gelled together yet this season for me.
Yeah, but also from Gameweek 12 again, the fixtures for Liverpool are going to be okay.
Yeah,
you're kind of stuck with Van Dijk.
Yeah, I
right
mean
now.
Van Dijk's not going to move Calafiori. I can't bring myself to go Calafiori to Gabriel. I almost did it last week.
He's looking good. He's looking good, Calafiori, at the moment.
Yeah, he scored a banger and then it was offside. And then who else? And Kudus as well scored an offside. All of my players this week just love to score offside goals.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so are you on last chance for João Pedro with Sunderland, or are you happy to stick with him? Okay, so that's a question for me. Okay, so to finish up with your team, let me just think what I would do now. Again, probably I think that I would roll, honestly, if I was in your place. But yeah, maybe that's just how I play the game. Some midfield options, let's say you don't have, again, from next gaming, probably someone like Sar would be nice, someone like Njae. But other than that, you have the main guys there. In
I
defense,
like Sar and Dye as well. They're definitely on my considerations list for that spot.
So for you, basically, it is to try to find the plan what you're going to do in case Liverpool are going to turn up at some point, and then reassess.
Yeah, Gakpo also on my list for next week. That midfield slot is the one. Like, if I can make the right pick for next week, Gakpo, Sar, and Dye, Bruno, one of those four, maybe even Minte, one of those, maybe even Foden.
Minte also, yes. Gakpo also is looking decent for his price, let's say. Do you think Chiesa might be a very good option once Salah goes to AFCON? Let me just
I think they probably play Frimpong there.
Yeah,
I think they either play Frimpong or I don't think Chiesa will come right wing. He's been going out on the left when he's come on for Liverpool, or up top centrally when Isak's come off, and they haven't had Ekatike, so I don't think he'll be Salah side. But I could be wrong on that, to be honest. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I think the same. That was the plan when they signed the Frimpong, also with this in mind, when Salah is going to go to African Cup of Nations. It's tough. Obviously, if Bradley and Frimpong are both going to be fit, it would make a lot of sense to just play Frimpong but right wing. But Chiesa definitely is going to get his minutes improved. I think that it is just too early to think about that at the moment. Let's see, maybe he's even going to get more minutes in the future. But they have a lot of attacking players at the moment, and even good players like Ekitike are just not starting at the moment.
Yeah, he's got to start. Isak's got to be dropped. He's got to be dropped.
Yeah, or I don't know, maybe try to find a way to play both of them. But Isak is not. It's just not. Probably his fitness is just not 200%. Wirtz has to start. There's a lot of options there. So I've moved to my team. Hashir Akhtar, hi Denis, do you have a wildcard draft handy to share? If you don't mind, I can just, put up a wildcard draft and send it to you after the stream, or maybe we can discuss a little bit, Adam, about how a wildcard team should look like for Gameweek 9.
Yep,
we can do. I'm just not. Let me just see. If I do, I go to transfers here. Okay, so I can test with my team. Let's remove the players who are not going to be. So Spurs defenders, Spurs midfielders are going to be out. Probably I would not go for Anderson because he's flagged. Obviously, you need to wait to see how bad is his injury.
Go get Munoz in there somewhere.
Yeah, would you go for Dubravka, right, as the second goalkeeper?
I think so.
Ryan is probably not. Gyökeres is probably not. Yeah. Okay, so Is it Semenyo lock-in on your wildcard for Gameweek 9?
Absolutely. Semenyo's a lock.
Okay. I should add Munoz. Then it is probably on a wildcard. Again, probably I would go for Sar on a wildcard, although the fixture is not great against Arsenal. It depends also how many free transfers you have. Would you go for more Palace players? I would be tempted to go for Mateta also, but yeah, I'm not sure.
I think that striker spot could be a Mateta, could be a Walter Marda, could be a João Pedro. I think it's probably one of those three, and you just got to pick which one you like the best.
I would go probably Timber and Saka.
Yeah, I probably would as well, or Gabriel and Saka.
Yeah, I have actually Gabriel, Timber, and Saka, but yeah, the fixtures are just good. I would go probably for a triple up here from Arsenal. So, or you're just saying you would go for another attacker like Eze or something like that?
No, I think that looks good. I might have had Raya in goal was the only thing, but I mean, either way, there's two Arsenal defenders I would have for sure. Either a goalie and a defender, or two defenders.
Senesi would be a lock.
Yeah, Senesi a lock for me.
Probably right now he is 5 million if you're buying new. If we look at midfielders, Enzo Fernandez probably would be if he's fit to play. And then we have the goalkeeper spot, another midfielder, and another striker with 16 millions to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are sort of the discussion spots, to be honest. Like, I honestly would say the rest of the team is pretty much not. I mean, maybe Alderette for me might be a Dan Ballard at Sunderland.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, same. I guess you're just picking who you think is going to get DefCon more often.
Yeah, it depends if you want to go for Bruno or not.
How much have you got in the bank here?
You could go for someone like Minte if you're. I mean, maybe not. On the goalkeeper spot, I didn't talk so much about it. Obviously, you could go for Pope or something like that. Or to go for someone like Burn in defense. But that would be, I think... I mean, if you want to play 5 at the back, yeah.
I think that spot that you had as Alderette, I would probably have Dan Ballard, because I was watching the Sunderland game and him now coming back from injury for Sunderland, and he's probably my under the radar pick going forwards. I think he's going to be on the end of all of Sunderland's set pieces. Like, he's their major threat off set pieces. Plus, his DefCon stats in, I think, the 3 full games that he's played so far this season have been 14, 19, and 10. So he's an interesting one for me. But again, he is also 4.5 mil. So
agree.
If you'd rather 4 mil, I think Alderette's probably better.
One I'm not so sure about. If I would go for more Chelsea players, considering their fixtures, maybe you could go for Sanchez, for Pope in goal. It depends, I guess, on your preference.
Yeah, I think both are good.
Let's say Pope, and we have 4.9 million. So yeah, here depends if you want to go for someone like Krupi or just a dead spot like OB. I have 0.6 millions in the bank with this team. You could even go for, I think, Dan Burn instead of Ballard if you want, and go with Sanchez in goal. But obviously I have Minte, which is a really cheap midfielder, but yeah, I like him at that price.
Yeah, I think that looks a great team, to be honest. Like, that's very close to the sort of the team I'm trying to get to be honest.
Yeah, now it just depends if you want an 8 attacker to rely on or not, I guess. But again, you can play with 4 at the back.
That's right.
In a lot of weeks, and so that's not a problem. If you want to bench someone like Enzo later on, even if you want to bench someone like Mateta this game week.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that team, what weeks are you unless Arsenal have Man City or Liverpool, like what weeks are you going to want to bench Gabriel, Timber, Munoz, or really Senesi? I mean, maybe Senesi, unless they're playing the Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City. I don't think you bench any of them. Maybe Senesi.
Yeah. The questions probably for this draft, like GF is saying, Chelsea defenders are good. Cucurella due for a goal. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Cucurella is a lot of the times getting in good positions. It's just I'm
What
not
about
sure which defender I would go.
what about Achiampong at Chelsea at 3.9 mil? He's a one to keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah. Again, the only downside to Chelsea defenders, probably from my point of view at least, they have a lot of defenders, and even when someone like, I don't know, probably someone like Colwill is not going to be back really soon, but they are going to get defenders back, and we saw they could rotate them also in some fixtures. Even Cucurella was rotated in some games. So yeah, Tosin was on the bench, I think, probably with a slight injury this game. So yeah, the only questions are, if you want an 8 attacker, you could go for, I don't know, someone like Krupi Jr. Again, I'm not sure how good he's going to be long term, but if you want him to play this game, he's okay. Center backs are not nailed at Chelsea. Yeah, I guess. I mean, someone like Chaloba could be interesting for the short term, I would say. And then you can move. But yeah, it depends. If you want a Chelsea defender here, you're missing Liverpool players, but at the moment, I'm not so interested in them. Yet, at least. You have Saka, you can go for someone like Njae if you want. Get some money from your defense instead of Minte. But yeah, this team looks good. Now, have in mind that I didn't thought so much about using a wildcard in Game Week 9, so this is just these are just our first thoughts on a wildcard. Probably you can make some switches there. Chalobah is good. After selling Salah in a rage after a triple captain disaster class, fully expect him to now turn up and start scoring. Yeah, I mean, everybody now is just saying that Salah is just not going to be an FPL option ever again this season, and you know what it takes? Just 2 goals and then 1 assist in one game, 2 penalties and 1 assist for everybody just to jump on him. Yeah,
I enjoy this, DM McDonald. You're one of the people that I totally feel your pain, because I know in past seasons I've just been like, I've had enough of this guy. Just get him out. Whatever I have to do, just get rid of him.
Yeah, and to be honest, I really understand it, because if you started the season with Mohamed Salah, let's say, it's tough to let go at some point. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I got you.
Because, for example, this gaming, let's say you don't have Haaland, you have Mohamed Salah, he's going to play at home against Manchester United, he's going to score a hat-trick or do something at least, and you're tempted to keep him. Now, the fixtures are still going to be decent, but at some point, yeah, as you did, Jeff, you just need to rip the Band-Aid. And yeah, at some point, probably he's going to be back in our thoughts, but let's see. Okay, so finally moving to my team, I have 0 money in the bank. I have 3 free transfers. And at the moment, this is how my starting 11 is looking like for Game Week 9. I'm going to need your help also, Adam, here, in terms of what would you do with my team. Now, obviously, as you can see, I think that your team is looking better than mine at the moment. Mostly because you have Enzo, you have Saka, I have Gyökeres, but yeah, these things could change quickly. So yeah, what I can do in terms of transfers, I have 3 of them at the moment. I'm not going to do any transfers in defense. I'm happy to play Gabriel, Senesi, Van de Ven for this game week. The Spurs players are going to be on the chopping block in the future because the fixtures are just not there. I'm happy with Njay. I'm happy with Semenyo. João Pedro, I'm going to keep him for this game week. Now, what I can do, and I may be a little bit not sad is the exact word. I didn't go through with that after yesterday to just buy Bukayo Saka. I could have done Ryan Dish to Saka and Gyökeres to Krupi or something like that. And yeah, Saka rest in price. But I still can do that. So it is tempting.
So are your considerations really like the Gyökeres pick, maybe Kudus as someone you might move as well, or what are your?
Yeah, also another thing is that I really want to have Enzo Fernandez if we're positive about him, and I could just do Kudu to Enzo this game week and roll, or do all the other moves, Gyökeres to, I don't know, Obi, Krupi, Reinders to Saka, and Kudus to Enzo, but then I will just bench Krupi Jr. So I just don't know if I want to buy him just to bench him because I'm just not sure about his minutes long term. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I don't expect that he's going to continue to start for Bournemouth in every game. Like I think Evan Nilsson's just too key a figure there to allow Krupi to just come in and take over. But he's probably someone that might get you a couple of points here and there. Yeah, I don't know. I like again, that was something I was considering whether it was worth taking the Krupi or just go to a 4.3 and save the 0.2 million. Like, are you ever gonna be 100% comfortable that Krupi's going to start in a game week? I'm not sure we'll ever get to that stage. But if he keeps banging in goals every week, maybe
he's going to play on the left maybe at some point because when Evan Nilsson is going to be back, I just can't see him being on the bench forever. So that's the problem. I don't think that Krupp is going to maintain that role, but who knows? So yeah, basically those are my options. Obviously, I have Bruno Fernandes. My plan was to sell him last gaming to Enzo Fernandez. Now I'm not so in a rush to sell Bruno Fernandes. I could do that, but again, and also I'm not sure if I want to sell Randy. So I'm in a really complicated situation. I have 3 free transfers, and I have a lot of possibilities. So
do you have any thoughts on going to Salah in the future for Liverpool's good fixture run from 12 onwards? Are you trying to leave your team like it's possible to get there, or not really?
Yeah, I want to leave that door open. And I just think that the thing is, I want to be flexible and around that around gaming 12, 13, I don't know when that's going to be, to have at least 3, 4 or something like that transfers. And then if I want to take my money out, I'm just going to go Gyökeres to Obi. And my defense is not so expensive. I have obviously me talking with Raya in goal, but other than that, I have Gabriel, Senesi, and then it's just Van de Ven, Anderson, Alderete. Ideally I would move also Van de Ven to, I don't know, someone like Richards or someone like Keane from Everton if he's going to become an option at some point.
I think if you move Van de Ven, you wait till 10 and you bring in Munoz at Palace.
Yeah,
I think that's what I would do if I was to move him.
Yeah, either Richards or Munoz. Yeah, I need to see how my money is going to be. Also, someone like Mateta is in my mind, obviously, from next game week. I could do that by selling Gyökeres, by selling João Pedro. I'm just not sure with Gyökeres. I still, I don't know, for an example, against Fulham this week, pretty much both Saka and Gyökeres blanked in terms of attacking returns, if you get my idea. But yeah, obviously Saka got DefCon, he got clean sheet, and he got somehow bonus points. So it's not like Saka was obviously, if you give me the choice, I want to have Bukayo Saka instead. But for the next 3, could he almost be able to match Saka? Maybe.
I think look, there's always a chance that Gyökeres gets a goal here and there. I think Saka's so crucial to the way Arsenal play. So much comes down that right hand side. A little bit more has moved around now that Eze's come to Arsenal, and they have changed up a little bit the way they're playing offensively to get more players forwards in the last couple of games. Like Calafiori's now playing like a Rico Lewis role that he used to play at Man City, as he inverts into centre midfield when Arsenal have possession. So they leave Saliba and Gabriel. Calafiori comes into the midfield alongside Zubimendi, and then Rice and Eze are in tens, and then Timber is like right wing in a little triangle with Saka and what used to be Odegaard, but now is a little bit more Eze. And I think just the way that Arsenal set up is less going to be like is just more structured to be going down that right hand side, because Calafiori inverts. It means that you've got Saka and Timber on the double up on that right hand side, which is why more goes through Saka. Obviously, he's their talisman as well. But I just think the way they play football is more structured to go through his side, and just that's why I just think there's more opportunity for him to get points. Plus, he's on
definitely
and Gyok. But yeah, I mean, the next 3 weeks, like anything can happen, and it's hard to move. I looking at your team is like I want to suggest move Gyökeres, but for 3 weeks, it's sort of like, well, it depends what you're thinking for game week 12. But I think you need to have like an idea. Like if you're not going to go to Saka, if you're not going to go to Salah in 12, then you can make those transfers now, and you don't need the additional transfers for 12, 13. So I feel like you're in a little bit of a similar situation to me. Is like if you're going to Salah, you can roll, or you can use one transfer. If you're not, you can just use your transfers now and just keep using a transfer each week, and you'll get through to 15. You'll be all right. 16, you'll get 5 free transfers, and you can change your team around.
Yeah. Obviously, you can still roll the transfers after this gaming. If, for an example, if I'm going to use 2 now, another 2 next gaming, you can still roll. But that was also why I didn't make early transfers, let's say, this gaming. Usually I don't do that when there are a lot of games to be played tonight. For example, Champions League games, Europa League games. I always want to have more information before making the transfers. So yeah. Again, I definitely
honestly, sorry.
I definitely agree. I would love to have Bukayo Saka, but it just doesn't feel there. Maybe because I bought Gyökeres on a wildcard, and you can go into this cycle when he's blanking 3 times in a row, and you're just hoping he's going to return at some point, and that's probably not good thinking from me.
Yeah, I think if I was in your situation, and I'm just looking at it now, so I'm just trying to make the call, but I would probably go Gyok down to, you wanted Mateta in anyway, so just go Gyökeres down to Mateta now and Kudus up to Saka, and then just.
I will need. I don't have the money to do that, but
you don't. Okay.
Let's see. I have 0 money in the bank.
Okay.
So Kudus to Saka, and I will have 5.7 millions for forward. So I will need to find another 1.9. So
not possible then. Well, maybe it's that you go to a creepy and then you bring in Mateta for João Pedro next week.
Yeah, that's also an option. Now again, as someone said here about João Pedro and Delap, we're going to move to discuss a little bit about the team. Sorry guys, we talked a lot about our teams, and then we can discuss more about these players. João Pedro, again, we got a lot of news today about Chelsea, and we might as well just move to them. Now you're going to have a little bit of a delay, but now basically we're going to discuss a little bit about Chelsea. What you see on the screen, the latest information about Enzo Fernandez from today's press conference from Maresca. Enzo took part in the session yesterday. basically he's back in training. We need to see if he's going to play in the Champions League, but probably I would say he's going to be okay for the weekend.
Yeah, I agree. I think he'll be back for the weekend.
So like GF said, also what we know right now is that Liam Delap is close to a return. He's not back in training with the team. And again, what you said, that I might as well just sell João Pedro because Delap is back. I'm just not sure that's the reason I'm going to sell João Pedro if I'm going to do that. Because, for an example, Liam Delap is going to play as a number 9. That means João Pedro probably is going to play as a number 10, which is the better position for him. So it doesn't mean João Pedro is going to lose his place, but it has a domino effect on all the Chelsea players, right, Adam?
Yeah, so it will. I think that, yeah, Delap will go in. Was that Paul that asked that? Yeah, come on, Paul, you know this answer. You know what I'm going to say is I think Delap comes in the 9. João Pedro drops into the 10, especially while Palmer's out as well, which is, to be honest, where I think his strongest position is. I think even you saw in that Chelsea game last week when Guiu came on, or Gui, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I'll call him Guiu for now.
Yeah.
Unless you correct me.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, when Guiu come on, he was running in behind, and João Pedro dropped into the 10 just in behind, and it just gave him a lot more space to be creative, to run with the ball, to pass the ball. I just think that's by far his best position. I almost think he'll be better as an asset in that 10. However, I think his minutes are then going to be an issue because you're going to have Palmer coming back. You're going to have just the way Maresca rotates that midfield a lot. Sometimes he pushes Enzo forward into the 10. He likes to invert the fullback inside to play in with Caicedo, like I was talking about with Calafiori. They invert like either a Reece James or Malo Gusto to play in that like defensive midfield role. So his minutes then do become an issue. So I do think Liam Delap coming back makes João Pedro, gives him better options creatively, but they also reduce his minutes. So it's sort of a plus and a con for me, and sort of nets off, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. And also Enzo Fernandez probably is going to play as an 8 or something like that.
Yeah, I do think he's good there though, because and it's something that if you've listened to a few of Enzo's interviews, he talks about how Maresca's told him to get into the box more, make sure he's on the end of chances. I actually think Enzo as an 8 or Enzo as a 10 makes zero difference to Enzo's output. Like, he's still going to get the same sort of attacking returns. Like, for me, it's the fact that he's on the set pieces. He takes some of the corners when Reece James isn't on. He gets into those positions. He's going to be on pens as well. So he's still a nice option until Palmer comes back for me.
Yeah, totally agree. We also, Enzo Fernandez was getting in a lot of good positions this season, also against Liverpool. I remember when he hit the post. So yeah, I think that Enzo Fernandez is still a good option, even for an example, if Palmer is going to be back or something like that. But I don't know, obviously, as close as you get your midfielder to the goal, probably it is a little bit better, but the margins are just not that high. He's still going to get in good positions. He's still going to get by the end of the crosses, and he's still on set pieces, as you said. Totally agree that he's still a really good option. Probably one of the best midfielders to buy this game if fit, I would say.
Yeah, I think so. I agree. I think something to look out for with Enzo, like, by the time Palmer comes back, is Reece James playing 90 minutes every game? If he is, I think that's the time for Enzo to come out, because Reece James is going to be on a lot more of the set pieces, a lot more of the corners, and that's going to take away a lot more of Enzo's routes to points. So if Palmer comes back, he's on pens, Reece James on set pieces and corners, I'm going to want to get him out. But until then, I think that's a good option.
Paul, I have Mateta and will most likely not sell him until next wildcard. Yes, that makes sense. Fixtures from Gameweek 10 are amazing. It's either Caicedo or upgrade to Enzo. So yeah, anything if you want to add on Chelsea, maybe we can discuss a little bit about Reece James, Caicedo.
Yeah, I think Reece James is definitely someone that is in
Interesting.
my. Yeah, he is interesting because he's always just been such a fantastic fullback. I just think this season with the introduction of DefCon, it's just not quite where I'd be looking. But like keep him on the radar given his set piece threat as well. And this season specifically in the Premier League, there's been way more goals scored from set pieces than before. Caicedo is definitely someone like between him and Enzo. I do find it a little bit difficult to pick. And that's only because of his he scored 3 goals so far this season, which I don't know if that is going to be sustainable. I would imagine not. But the fact that his defensive contributions, I don't know, he averages about 13.5 a game, is just ridiculous. He can sit there as a 5th option in your midfield, and if you want to play him, he probably scores you 4 points. I mean, I think he's definitely. I think I wouldn't sub Caicedo for Enzo. And if you need the money, I'd just go Caicedo because I think it's quite close.
Yeah, I think that if we go unlimited budget or something, that I would still pick Enzo, but that because of my bias probably of the last seasons without defensive contributions. Now, again, I don't think that he's going to score 3 goals in 6 games or at every 6 games or something like that, but definitely he can do that. Now we saw that he can do that. And that's just a bonus if he's going to get an assist or score a goal. Other than that, he can get you 4 or 5 points if you need him, obviously. Most probably he's going to sit on your bench most weeks. That's the annoying thing, I would say, about Caicedo. Depends on your team structure, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with you. If I had unlimited budget, I'd go Enzo as well.
Yeah. If you need the cash, yeah, you can go Enzo, no problem with that. Hi all from New Zealand. Thank you so much from joining, Niels. Hope everyone is good. I really like Mateta, just can't get over. I decided to go Enzo last Gameweek instead of getting him with my last free transfer. I mean, Enzo is still good, even if you got him last Gameweek. At least you have him in place. And Mateta, I don't know, maybe we're knee-jerking a little bit because for me at least, I talked about Mateta before. He was getting 60 minutes in some game, 68 minutes in other games. The things didn't really look great for Mateta, and now he scores a hat-trick against Bournemouth, not against Burnley. So, yeah, maybe a little bit of a knee-jerk. But I think that he's a solid option from Game Week 10 anyway, on penalties, if he's going to get the minutes. So yeah, I think that we covered on Chelsea pretty much. The defenders again are enigma from me. I'm not sure which defender I would go. Probably I would go Chalobah right now if I need to pick one, or Sanchez in goal.
Same, I agree. Only ones that are a bit more nailed than the others.
Other than that, yeah, I'm not sure about your opinion on João Pedro, but to keep or not this game, I mean, I'm sure because you said that you want to sell him. So yeah.
It's more of a structure for me, and like what I want in the midfield. Like I don't mind keeping him for 9, and just think he's super highly owned, and I'd rather go against him than go with him.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on, we're going to talk a little bit about Arsenal. Obviously, we discussed a little bit about these teams before. What's your best trio from Arsenal?
Gabriel, Saka, plus Raya or Timber for me. It would be the 3. But I've got to say, well, like, as I was talking about before, I think like Arsenal changed up how they go offensively in the last 2 game weeks. I think Fulham and whoever they played the week before, I noticed that move from Calafiori into the central areas. I think that's given them a bit more offensive threat. I don't want to say this because I know he's in your team at the moment, but I think you're thinking the same way I am about Gyökeres. Like I'm super sort of anti Gyökeres at the moment, and not because I don't think he's a good player. I just think he thrives more in those like transition areas, and and he will be good in Champions League football because there'll be more opportunity. And that was why he was good at Sporting as well, because he was able to play in transition, and his pace and strength while running at speed is one of his biggest assets. But in the Premier League, Arsenal are such a big team and everybody plays a low block against them. He's got to be sharper and quicker movements and shoot earlier. And it just doesn't play into what his big strengths are. But I think he's important for Arsenal. And the fact that they have him, although he's not scoring goals, is actually helping their team because he takes bodies towards him in a similar way that Erling Haaland takes bodies towards him. He can occupy those defenders, and that gives more space for the Ezes, for the Sakas, for the Martinellis to be able to be one-on-one with their defenders. Whereas in past seasons, you see teams double up on Salah. Double up on Salah, but double up on Saka, double up on Eze for Palace, and they have less these sort of more how to say it, like can run at you players are having more effect for Arsenal because of scoring. And I think he's not a great FPL option. I think he's really good for our team.
Yeah, I agree pretty much with what you said. I definitely don't think that he's a bad player or something like that. He just and he's helping, as you said. He's drawing a lot of bodies, and that's good news for the wingers, pretty much, for Eze, for Bukayo Saka, for another offensive players from Arsenal. Now, what I hoped for when Bukayo Saka was back, for him to get more chances because of these creative players. But again, everybody is playing a low block against Arsenal, as you said. And he's just not he just doesn't have that space to run behind the defenders in the center, because Arsenal obviously are not playing counter-attack that often. It is thoughts on triple Arsenal defense. I think that's viable if you wanna do that. Honestly, again, my triple R probably would be still Timber, Gabriel, and Saka. Now, maybe we can have a discussion here about Gabriel. I think that he's 6.4 million now, but personally, I think that he's worth the price. Anyway, over someone like Saliba or Timber. It's worth having. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I agree. Yeah, carry on. I agree completely. To be honest, yeah.
It is worth having one Arsenal attacker, but going triple defense can work as it's cheaper than getting an attacker. Yeah, it is cheaper, but the problem is which players are you going to have in attack? If you're going to save that money, but you can go for Saka, obviously, because you have 3 defenders from Arsenal. You can go for Palmer. You can go for Bruno Fernandes. So, okay, fair enough. You're not going for Salah at the moment, so not a lot of expensive midfielders, and even strikers are not returning at the moment, so I'm not sure what are you going to do with that money. That's the only problem, but I think that's fair enough if you want to go with 3 defenders from Arsenal. I think that they are the best defense in the Premier League.
Yeah, agreed.
Great point.
And there's probably one other person from Arsenal that I give a shout out to as well, and that's Declan Rice.
Yeah,
and I think this is more of the game is like, you can see football changing a little bit this season, and Dec is obviously on a lot of set pieces for Arsenal. He's on corners, and his deliveries are brilliant. Like a lot, you can see Arsenal work on their set pieces a lot.
Yeah,
obviously they're great from them, but I think with this introduction of like converting and potentially Piero Hincapié, the other Arsenal centre back / fullback, from what I've heard, is very good on the ball. I think he he plays like left back, centre back, so could also do that similar role Calafiori's doing. That has allowed Declan Rice to get a little bit further forwards for Arsenal, and I think maybe that's going to allow him to become a little bit more of a goal threat going forward. So if you are looking for somebody super differential, and you don't want to go for a Saka and you want an Arsenal attacker,
and
I
not
think
Eze.
Declan Rice. And and you don't want to go Eze. I mean, you do have Eze as well. So, but I think Declan Rice is really interesting because the amount of goals that have been scored from set pieces, like Arsenal set piece side as well, I think that adds a lot to his FPL output. And the fact that he's been allowed a little bit more freedom to go forwards in this like new Arsenal setup over the last couple of games, I think we might see him pick up a few more points and maybe score a couple more goals over the next 6 to 8 game weeks.
Yeah, I agree. Only if he was better for defensive contributions, then we could really talk about a really good option. Who would you sell first, from Mickey van de Ven or Joachim Anderson? Now, if Anderson is going to be back soon, probably I would sell van de Ven personally. Rizwanelli, thanks a lot also for joining the stream. Yeah, so if you have anything to add for Arsenal, I think that we cover pretty much. Next up, it's Manchester United, which is an interesting team to talk about because, a lot of their players are differentials at the moment. So the fixtures are decent for Manchester United. Personally, I'm not in a rush again to buy them. Now, maybe if you want to be a little bit ahead of the curve, like you said, I have Bruno Fernandes in my team. As a team, obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan, so it really stinks after this weekend. After they beat us.
So we skip Man United. They don't exist. There was no games on Sunday.
yeah. I mean, also, they deserve that win, I would say. They played decent, but they always play good against Liverpool. I don't know how they do it, to be honest.
I thought Amorim, and credit to him, like he did something that no one's done against Liverpool this year, and completely surprised me because in the previous 2 or 3 games Liverpool had, the opposition went direct. They pinned their striker up against Konate, and like they just didn't go anywhere near Van Dijk. And you had like Mateta up against Konate, who Mateta was winning a lot of those individual duels against him, and I thought Konate was struggling in the sort of physical aerial duels up against some of these bigger strikers. And then teams were able to keep the ball and play from there. And I thought that was causing Liverpool quite a few problems. Amorim sort of flipped the script a little bit and went, I'm going to drop Sesko, who scored in the last couple of games, and I'm going to play Cunha and Mbumo, Fernandes, Mount, all 4 of them, with Ahmad at wing back as well, that's basically playing as a right winger. And we're going to rock. And I couldn't believe it. Like when I saw the team, I thought, like, why are they doing this? And like Van Dijk just, I mean, not just him. I think the Liverpool, and I used to play fullback when I played footy, so it does take time to adapt to a new back 4 because you have to be knowing your line, you have to be looking along the line and making sure that everyone's in line, everyone knows when to push out, everyone knows when to try and play offside. And I just don't think the Liverpool back 4 know how to do that. And I think Van Dijk needs to take responsibility as the leader of that back 4 to get it sorted out. And I think he's been a culprit of just not knowing where to go. And that really surprises me because I think I said on one of my videos recently this week that I don't think he's one of the great Premier League centre-backs, and I don't think you can compare him to a Vidic, a Terry, a Tony Adams, a Vincent Kompany. I just don't think he's as good as any of them. And this was one of those weeks where you could see he had flaws in his game that he needs to work on if Liverpool are going to be successful this season. And my issue now is that I'm worried about them playing the long ball against Canate, and I'm worried them running at Van Dijk. Teams feel like they've got a few options against Liverpool this year, and we need to sort it out quickly if we want to do better.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a mix of questions at Liverpool at the moment. Well, we're going to discuss also about Liverpool. So as I said before, I think that the best options for Manchester United going forward, if you want to go different, again, there are a lot of other cheap midfielders, and I think that's making things a little bit more harder to pick them because they are at that price point. For example, Cunha and Mbeumo are around 8 millions. Bruno Fernandes is around 9 millions. And you have a lot of good cheap midfielders at the moment. So maybe things are going to change at some point. But at the moment, if you give me maybe that's not fair, but if you give me Mbeumo or Ismail Assar from Gameweek 10, I would slightly go for Sar, I think, at the moment. Yeah, and that's that without taking into consideration the price. You're saving 1.5 or something like that millions. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. I'd also go for Sar. Like, to be honest, the only person I'm looking at United is Bruno Fernandes. Like, even over an Mbeumo, I just like you just don't know what team's going to turn up every week with them. And I know Paul in the chat is a United fan, so he might have something to say about that. But I don't really want to hear his thoughts after this weekend. I don't want to talk about United. I don't think they exist. I don't think they exist as a team.
Yeah, this weekend I was waiting for the game against Man United to, I don't know, for us, for Liverpool to bounce back so I can finally be in peace, you know. You get another fourth lose in a row against Man United at home. That was just horrible. Yeah, it is what it is. They deserve it after all. About Manchester United defense, at the moment, I have no interest in them at the moment.
Yeah, agree.
So it's pretty much Bruno Fernandes or Mbeumo for me. But yeah, they are definitely a team to look because we're going to look also at the most attacking teams in the first 8 games of the season, and United created a lot of chances this season. They just didn't convert a lot of them.
United are the best team between one 16-yard box and the other 16-yard box. They just can't defend or score the chances.
Yeah. Van, thank you so much. Sorry. Anthony and Gyökeres to Mbeumo and Thiago. I'm not so sure about that. What would you say, Adam? I would not do those transfers, I think. But maybe I'm biased.
It's hard to know. Like, I think you need to see like a full team to be able. Like, I find it hard to give advice on transfers without seeing the rest of their team and how it's structured. And,
yeah,
it's talking a bit more about plans. Like, I don't know, to be honest.
It is tough. Hi, Dennis. Hi, FPL guy. Thank you so much for joining. Replacement for Reinders and Gyökeres. Virgil van Dijk is doing Bluetooth defending. Now I don't know exactly.
Agree with that, mate. Agree with that. He needs to go and make a goddamn tackle.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand. That's another discussion. Virgil van Dijk, if we talk about him, I don't know, his first 2 seasons or something, that for me, it looked like an amazing defender at that time. I mean, I just didn't saw anything better in that time, obviously.
Yeah, it's been different since he had the injury. He's been different.
He's not the same. I just don't feel like he's playing the same after the injury, but he's still decent. So let's keep it that. So yeah, moving forward, it's Liverpool, and here I have a funny. Obviously, this is not the official Newcastle account, but it is a photo of Alexander Isak. I don't know if you can see it yet. Please stop calling and asking for a refund. So again, jokes aside, Isak was not obviously I didn't expect Isak to be at his top yet. I think
It's just come up for me that.
I think there's more to come anyway, so it's too early to judge. But yeah, the jokes are funny even as a Liverpool fan, I guess.
Yeah, firstly, I am also a Liverpool fan, and I do think Van Dijk is a good defender. He just has some holes before
I
people
know.
shout at me for slagging him off a little bit, but he needs some things he needs to work on. But yeah, Isak, look, I think from now on you can start to judge him a little bit more fairly. Like, he's had a few games under his belt now. Like, he obviously hadn't had pre-season with us. He hadn't got accustomed to Liverpool, the way they've played. Now he's had a few weeks. He's had some time with the team. I think going forwards we can start to judge him a little bit more fairly. I think until now it's a bit unfair to be writing him off. And like, he's a proven Premier League striker. He was excellent in Newcastle. You know that he has the ability to play in the Premier League. So it's just about getting him acclimatized is maybe not the right word, but like acclimatized with that Liverpool team and how to play with them and getting him the ball in the areas that he likes. I think the difficulty for him is Ekitike has been Liverpool, in my opinion, has been Liverpool's best player this season. Like, he's looked brilliant whenever he's been on the pitch. Whenever he's been given the ball, he's been my favourite player to watch. I think he's got great feet. He's an aerial presence and probably needs to work on his heading a little bit. Looks like his finishing is pretty good. Runs with the ball, runs in behind, comes short to get the ball, can link up the play. Like, I can't. Like, I wouldn't have even taken him out of the team for Isak when Isak came in. And I was actually thinking we didn't need to spend the 120 million on Isak, despite thinking he's a great striker, because I thought Ekitike just looked so good. So it'd be interesting to see how Liverpool are going to make it work, because, I mean, you got two guys who are really great number nines, and we don't play a 4-4-2. So I don't know how. I don't know why. If they're not going to do that, like, why, and they're not going to play Ekitike on the left, like, why did we buy Isak? It didn't make sense to me to spend 120 mil when we just bought a guy who looked amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Also, at that time, it just we all were expecting for us to get one of Ekitike or Alexander Isak, I think, not both of them. I mean, it was nice to get both of them, but it is a little bit weird to spend also that kind of money on two number nines. I guess Isak was there, and I guess he wanted to join Liverpool. Maybe that's a factor also. I agree with you, Ekitike, probably the best player, probably from Liverpool, I would say, alongside someone like Soboslai. He was also fantastic this season, I think. As a right back anyway, or as a midfielder, he just did the job. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Now they have a lot of attacking options. Maybe not in Gakpo's place, but I guess Wirtz can play there, Ekitike can play there on the left wing. So yeah, and also the funny thing is Chiesa is also scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah,
being on the bench, being the last option.
He's looked very good. Rio as well. We got the young lad.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, and Neil's probably onto your question of if Salah's passed it for FPL. I think he's looked like a shadow of himself this season. Some of his finishing has been not what you'd expect of Mo.
It's his worst start, I think, since he plays for Liverpool. But again, he used to go in periods like this. For an example, in the last part of the last season, he wasn't. I think that he wasn't performing the same in the last 10 game weeks or something like that. So again, it happens. I just think that it's not just a Salah problem. Almost all the players from Liverpool weren't their best, and that's tough. It's not just because Trent Alexander-Arnold is not playing for Liverpool. Obviously, maybe that's a thing missing in their creativity, but they should make it work anyway with Bradley, with Frimpong, but they weren't up to speed yet.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I mean, we've made so many signings. It's just the team's not gelled. The defense hasn't gelled. The attack hasn't gelled. Slot's got to find a way to make it work pretty quickly.
Yeah, basically for FPL, I fully think that we're going to bounce back at some point, but you just don't know exactly when that's going to be. You're always going to think it's the next game. If you have Salah, if you have I don't know, if you have Isak into your team, you're just going to think that the next game surely Liverpool can't play any more bad. But
Yeah,
at the moment, probably
just
Gakpo also is looked decent this season, and yeah, last game he was the best one, I think.
Gakpo's my favourite asset. I feel like if you pick a Liverpool asset at the right time this season, you're going to get a lot of points from it. So I don't know which one is the right one, but someone's going to start going well soon. Maybe it will be in that game week 12 run onwards, or maybe it will be sooner. And hopefully it will be sooner.
Yeah,
From a Liverpool fan, but I think there will come. You'll need someone from Liverpool in your team, and yeah, hopefully we can get them in there before they start running.
yeah. Basically, the approach for me in the next few game weeks is going to be wait and see with Liverpool, but definitely the players I'm looking from, I don't know, it depends when they're going to do something, but Gakpo, Salah, Isak, these are a consideration. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Ekitike. I'm not sure if he's going to start or to be a starter in every game in the Premier League, because the thing is, you have a lot of competitions. For sure, Ekitike is going to play a lot of minutes in the Champions League, if not in the Premier League, and you're just never going to know if he's going to play 90 minutes in the Premier League. Probably not. So that's why at the moment I'm not so sure about him. But yeah, these are pretty much the main players I would look to, and probably someone like Van Dijk in defense. But other than that, I just don't trust Kerkez at the moment. He's just not playing good. Anyway, Konate, I would not go there, and you can't go for Bradley or Frimpong because of the rotation, pretty much because Szoboszlai is playing right back.
Yeah, I think Kirkes has been our worst player this year. I think he's a real liability at left back at the moment.
Yeah, I'm happy we kept Robertson at least.
Yeah, I think our midfield's so good. Like Gravenberch is amazing. Shob's been amazing. Like Macca's hasn't been fully fit, but great. And I think if Wirtz is in there, he hasn't quite dealt with the physicality of the Premier League yet, but I'm sure hopefully he'll get up to speed. And the front line, surely they've got to be good. Like there's so many good players.
Yeah, it's too much quality there. Even someone like Wirtz, I think that when he's going to be 7 million in FPL, I think that we're going to have a nice option at some point. Hopefully, at least.
Hopefully, yeah.
Like Paul said, when Alisson returns, the defense will get better. Probably that's going to be the case. Now, I don't think that just because of Alisson, they need to sort also some things, as you said before. Because, yeah, maybe he would have stopped the first goal from Manchester United, let's say.
He would have saved that for sure.
But yeah, I don't think that Alisson is the only problem right now. Poor understanding between Virgil van Dijk and Kerkez, they need time. Yeah, Kerkez is a shadow of the player he was at Bournemouth, at least for now. And I just didn't expect that because he was amazing last season.
Me too, mate. Me too.
Yeah, let's move a little bit more quicker with the next teams. It's going to be Newcastle. Here, obviously their defense was great this season. We're going to see that also on some stats. But at the moment, you have Voldemort into your team. You're pretty confident right now that he's going to get some good minutes because, yeah, Wissa is not back fit. When he's going to be back, probably he's going to go to African Cup of Nations. So Voldemort looking like a decent option if you're looking for a striker, I would say. Is he the one?
Yeah, I think. Sorry, you go.
Is he the one I would go for right now? Yeah, I'm not so sure, but I think that Mateta, Voldemort, probably these are the strikers at the moment who are getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, I think it's hard to pick. Like the strikers are always a little bit hard to pick. which is why I'm less focused on them and just like Haaland +1 for me. But yeah, Walter just I tried to get him in early because I felt like Newcastle didn't have any other strikers. He was going to play 90 minutes. And it's felt like lately that Newcastle were switching up a little bit the way they're playing. They're a little bit more direct. They're getting a lot more balls into the box because their team is full of absolute monsters like Joe Linton, Walter Marder, Dan Burn, like Botman Theo. Like, all of these guys are absolutely monstrously big.
Yeah.
If they get those balls into the box with a bunch of them in there, like, they're going to score goals. So yeah, interesting to see if he can keep it up. I think he's looked good, like nice with the ball at his feet, can link up the play. Maybe not quite a runner in behind as of yet, but there were a couple of times this week that I saw him making some nice runs. Bruno almost found him with a nice pass. Yeah, I think he's a nice option. I'll be interested to see if he can take the penalties off Gordon, because they fought over the first one that Gordon took in the Champions League. There was a fight, like Walter Marder wanted it, and it was obviously Gordon's. And Walter Marder obviously took one in the Prem when Gordon was off. So
Yeah.
I wonder if he goes, I'm the number 9, give me the ball, and that changes, but we'll see.
Yeah, Gordon probably his own penalties, but as you mentioned, Gordon, he's not getting not the minutes because he's starting every game week. I expect him to start every game week. I just don't think that he's a 90-minute man. With Gordon, pretty much, I think that it's a situation. If you have him, you keep him. If you don't have him, you don't buy, pretty much at the moment. And yeah, if we're talking about their defense, they were decent. Probably my favorite picks there would be Pope and Dan Burn, because he has a little bit of attacking threat. Not so great for defensive contributions, but he gets it at sometimes, and that's because he's also playing left back, not center back all the time. So yeah. Is it too much to have? Yeah, so I answered that. As I said before, it is viable to go 3 defenders from Arsenal. If you want to do that, you don't have Gabriel, definitely I would try to find a way to have him before buying Raya. But yeah, it depends if you're on a wildcard. It depends on so many things. As you said, Adam, it is tough to give advice when you don't see all the team, how many free transfers you have, how much money you have. So yeah, as I said to you in the comments, I would still want to have Bukayo Saka for Arsenal for the long term, term at least. So yeah, and I think that the last team we're going to discuss here is going to be Crystal Palace, and then we're going to discuss if we omitted something next. Crystal Palace, an interesting team this season. It's looking like they started as a really good defense to me, and as a Liverpool fan, you may know that I pretty much hate Crystal Palace at the moment. But yeah, they were impressive in defense, and now they are getting just a lot of chances. So an interesting team to watch, and how they are going to develop in the long run. A lot of good options from them, starting with their defense. Almost all their defenders are really good for defensive contributions. And in attack, you have pretty much Mateta and Ismail Assar. Are there any other options in attack you would look to?
Not that have stood out to me tactically or through the stats. I think like if the main guy for me that I'm looking at is Dan Munoz. And outside of that, I mean, a lot of the Palace players are good picks. But I think Sarr and Mateta, from a attacking perspective, are the only ones I'd be looking at the moment. I think I haven't really seen anything out of Pino.
Yeah,
but I'm going to Palace on Thursday, the Europa League game against Larnaca, the Cypriot team. So I'll feed back my thoughts to you on Twitter.
Nice. Yeah, I forgot what I wanted to say. So yeah, there aren't really, maybe someone like Pino at some point, but other than that, with Munoz, you have basically everything. You have also attack and you also have defense. So Probably he's the most interesting one alongside. I mean, it feels kind of harsh for, let's say, Sar owners for Mateta to get a hat trick and Sar to get nothing out of that game. But yeah,
Tough.
I think
Very
that
tough.
he's still decent going forward.
No, I agree. I think he's still a good option.
So yeah, other than that, again, if you have a lot of free transfers, I don't think that's a problem. If you wanna, I don't know, make a combination of transfers, and you will want Mateta in the long run, you can buy them in Gameweek 9. But I just don't think that's a rush against Arsenal, especially the attackers. I mean, sure, they are really good attacking side, but against Arsenal is not going to be that easy for them. So yeah, I think that you can delay that for one more Gameweek.
Yep.
Okay, so moving forward, we have a topic you're interested in. So here we have defensive contributions per 90 minutes, and these are the top 10 players who achieved it between Gameweek 1 and Gameweek 8. First one is Senesi, no surprises here. Mukiele, Tarkovsky, Virgil van Dijk, Anderson, Mavropanos. Probably he's he didn't play all the games, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mavropanos.
Yeah, from West Ham.
Yeah,
I
I think he started 5 of the 8 for West Ham.
so. Yeah, again, probably I would not look to get any West Ham defenders anyway, considering their form at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think you can back West Ham for a clean sheet. And I think although that DefCon is important to consider, still clean sheets are the most important thing for defenders. Like if you can pick them, you can get 4 points from it. So yes, DefCon is great if they have that on top of it, but you also want to be looking at clean sheets. And I don't think West Ham are capable at the moment of keeping clean sheets, especially with the way they've gone so far.
Yeah, and also someone like Diouf, he was benched right last night. So
Yeah, crazy.
yeah, we are expecting West Ham to be better at some point with Nuno, but again, it's just not worth our time to think right now at West Ham defenders. So Mukiele, a 4, I'm not sure. I think that he's 4.1, right now.
He's still at 4, I think, at
He's
the
still
moment.
4. Okay, so
Yeah.
he's averaging 11.8. He's on the second place here. An interesting one. The same with, as you said, someone like Ballard, someone like Alderete. Obviously, Ballard is 4.6, I think. Sunderland were impressive this season, I would say.
I think Sunderland have been excellent defensively. Really, really impressed me. I think a lot of the promoted teams, I mean, all of the promoted teams really have probably, they would say, overachieved so far this season. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who ends up in that relegation zone at the end of the year.
Yeah. Even someone like Ekdal and Esteve, 4 million defenders who are getting 10 per 90, so they're averaging DefCon every Gameweek. Yeah, could be decent options. And also Burnley just kept a clean sheet. So again, obviously you're not going to rush to buy 4 million defenders just if you need some money to upgrade elsewhere. Other than that, I'm going to tell you something with Tarkovsky. I never understood the hype 2 or 3 game weeks ago. But I get it, obviously. I just didn't trust the Everton defense and mostly the fixtures. Now the fixtures are going to get a little bit better, and he's also 5.5 million. So, yeah, if you want to share your opinion on these defenders.
Yeah. So I think firstly, from so I have Hub, I think, for their data, and I don't subscribe to Fantasy Football Hub because I believe that I can get all the data myself and not have to pay them money.
Yeah.
So, sorry if they sponsor you.
Yeah, no problem. No.
But yeah, I think in this data they filter out players that have not played a certain amount of minutes. So
Yeah.
Like the data that I use is like I have my own spreadsheets that are set up that are linked directly to the FPL API. So all the data pulled straight off the FPL website. So the one guy that I'd say that's not in here that I was talking about earlier is Dan Ballard at Sunderland. And like his DefCon per 90 data is crazy. Like it's probably the top out of all of these guys. But obviously he's only started 3 games for Sunderland due to the injury. So like, you know, it probably will come down a little bit, but I think him along with Mukiele are both nice in that Sunderland team. And I think Alderete is probably not far away from some of these guys as well. So I think all 3 of the Sunderland defenders this season just have been brilliant for DefCon. And I think the way that DefCon is sort of playing out is the teams with the lower possession are going to get the most defensive contributions because they're going to be involved in more defensive actions because they don't have the ball most of the time. And on top of that, you see Senesi up here, and it's just the Bournemouth style of play. Like, because they are such fast-paced, high transition football, there's so many attacking and defending for both teams in the games. So generally in a game that Bournemouth are playing in, the other team are probably going to get DefCon. Bournemouth are probably going to get DefCon just because of how many transitions there are in those sort of games with Bournemouth. They'll press super high and they'll also attack very fast. So that's sort of, I guess, the way to think about it a little bit in terms of picking who you think is going to get more defensive contributions out of the teams. In terms of who I like, on this list, I think Senesi's a standout for me in a Bournemouth team that can also keep clean sheets, which is, again, as I mentioned, still the most important thing. And I think you want to just find the DefCon defenders on top of that. And then outside of that, I would like Virgil for Liverpool's fixture run, but you got time if you don't have him in your team. I think keep an eye on Liverpool after the next few weeks and see if they can work it out defensively, if that back 4 can gel a bit better. And then Chris Richards of Palace, I really like at 4.5. I think he's probably, him and Anderson on this list are the other 2 that I think I would look at. I don't know on Anderson's fitness. I haven't heard really what his availability is going to be like this weekend yet. But yeah, I think the 2 of them, and I'll probably say Richards over Anderson, just because Palace are a little bit of a better defence and can keep more clean sheets and have a really nice fixture run from 10. So I think
I agree there.
Look at on this list.
Yeah, for Sunderland, I was just looking at the fixtures are not great, so probably again as your 5th defender, it's okay, but
they have had a good fixtures to start the season, so that should be bearing in mind that their fixtures have gone now. The good fixtures have probably finished for Sunderland, and they're now starting to turn a little bit more difficult. But because they've been so good, I'd be willing to back some of their cheaper defenders still for DefCon and some occasional clean sheets.
Yeah,
Munoz is the way.
Yeah, I was just looking also at Ballard, as you said. He didn't play a lot of 90 minutes. Probably that's why he's not on this graphic. Against Man United in Gameweek 7, he got 19 defensive contributions in 50 minutes. So yeah, that's a lot. Last Gameweek he got just 10 against Wolverhampton, but fair enough. It also depends on the opposition, as you said. So yeah, I'm not sure if I would go for Ballard now. It depends how much money you have. I would just go for 4 million defender if you're wildcarding or something like that.
Yeah, I think the Ballard pick for me, it was a bit of a differential, but also because I think he's such an aerial threat for Sunderland. Like when the set pieces and the corners and stuff, they're going to be aiming for Ballard. Like he's their sort of go-to guy off those set pieces. So he just has that little bit of attacking threat as well, which I know Mukiele and Alderete have both scored and got 17 pointers. But I would say that, Ballard's also done the same. So all 3 of those defenders have all got 17 pointers, which is crazy. So yeah, I guess if you just want to go for a 4 mil, I think either of the Alderete or Mukiele are nice. yeah, I'm surprised that Mukiele got such high DefCon this week because he was playing at fullback because Ballard was back. But yeah, I'd be interested to see who kicks on out of the two of them for DefCon.
Yeah, and also from Everton, I'm not sure if you got the latest news with Braithwaite. He's looking like he's going to have surgery.
No.
So probably he's going to miss some games. That's why I said earlier about Keane. So Keane, as a 4.5 million defender, I'm not saying that he's better than Tarkovsky or something like that, but you're saving 1 million, and he's, I think that better for attacking threat. Pretty much that would be the reason to go there.
Yeah, I think so. I've got his DefCon at 9.99 per 90. So
yeah, he's decent. Yeah,
still decent. Yeah.
but yeah, pretty much when Everton are taking set pieces, they are looking for Michael Keane. So yeah, another cheap one to have in the mix.
That's a nice one. I'm going to add that to my list of guys to keep an eye on.
Yeah, because I obviously nobody gone for Keane because we were waiting for Braithwaite to came back.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fixtures, by the way, are going to get better for Everton. So yeah, I don't fully hate the Tarkovsky pick. I'm expecting also them to improve defensively, but yeah, they weren't great. Also, the fixtures weren't great for Everton in the last few. Hi Robert Light, thanks so much for joining, guys. I would like to know more about Anderson. Hopefully some news this week. Yeah, probably we're going to get some news on Thursday, I think, because Friday is the deadline, or maybe on Friday. I'm not sure when we're going to get the news. Hopefully, I don't need Anderson this gaming, so yeah, he's going to be in my team. But yeah, would be nice to see. My issue with having Anderson is Fulham always concede. I like the opportunity for a clean sheet and defensive contributions as well. Yeah, that was the problem with Fulham. I think that I played Anderson. I think I'm not sure against Aston Villa when he kept a clean sheet and also defensive contributions. That was amazing. But besides that, Fulham conceded pretty much in all the games. So I don't know. The fixtures are just not okay for Fulham, but long term, I think that he's still a decent option when fit.
Can I ask the question? Do you the hub sponsor you, or do you just use the data off their site?
I just use the data, and mostly I'm using them to see how my team is going to look like in the future. You know, I think that it is a useful site, but again, it is opinions. And yeah, as you said with Ballard, I personally filtered these defenders to see just defenders with decent minutes. Because
okay.
If you have someone like, I don't know, a random defender from Nottingham Forest who got just 10 minutes and you see him on the first place on defensive contributions, is just not that relevant. So, but yeah, I agree when...
No, I was just going to say, I was checking that you weren't sponsored by them, so I wouldn't have said it. But I was just going to plug, don't sign up for Fantasy Football Hub, just sign up to my membership of my channel and I'll give you free access to all of this data.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. There are a lot of sites, let's say. FPL Focal also has one. I found it really interesting. Live FPL. There are a lot of tools right now for FPL. So
none of them are
definitely
linked directly to the FPL API except for mine.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't where I don't know exactly, I can't say. I'm not sure if Live FPL is linked directly to
Live FPL is
FPL or
great.
not.
Live FPL is one of the best websites, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, so now let's move to see the midfielders. The same statistic, defensive contributions per 90. Here we have someone like Florentino, who is emerging as a really good defensive midfielders, although he didn't start obviously in the beginning. But I think that he got defensive contributions in every game he played, in every game he started. He is from Burnley.
Florentino, yes. Sorry, it hadn't come up on my screen yet.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I think I was talking to some Burnley fans about him, and like obviously just come into the team, and pretty much what I heard is he's mostly going to be good for DefCon, but unlikely to be doing much more than that. So I mean, I don't know too much about him. I didn't follow him prior to coming to the Premier League, so I don't really have too much insight on him for you.
Yeah, it's just looking like he's one of those midfielders who's more likely to get you 4 points every gaming. So that's the thing. But yeah, it depends. If we look at this list, someone like Weaver, again, I don't think that he's getting a lot of good minutes. I'm not so sure, to be honest with you. But yeah, if you can correct me.
Well, Weaver's been coming in at right back at the moment for Brighton, which is probably why he's picking up a few more defensive contributions. So I don't expect him to be playing game in, game out there for Brighton. So for me, he's probably not someone I'd be looking at. Is this excluding recoveries? This is just CBIT and not recoveries as well?
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I would
right.
have expected Caicedo to be on about 13,
yeah.
14.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, my mistake there. Yeah, it's just CBIT without the recoveries. So yeah.
Okay. But I think similar. I guess similar players are at the top there. Like Caicedo is just by far and away for me the best for CBIT and recoveries for a midfielder. Up 13 and a half if you include the recoveries. Averaging per game, 13.6, and the fact that he scored 3 goals as well this year at that price point of what is it? What have you got? 5.8. He's on. There's no one close to him, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So yeah, forgot to switch that CBIT to CBITR, but obviously, pretty much. Obviously, Caicedo would be higher up the list. With the midfielders, again, someone like Bruno Fernandes is not on this list. He's also really good at defensive contributions. With the midfielder, besides Caicedo, I don't really have a lot of standout option, let's say, who I'm really sure, besides Florentino.
I would say the ones that I think I like Granit Xhaka. I think Xhaka's quite good. I think if you include recoveries, he's up at about 12.6 on average, which is really nice for a 5 million midfielder. So if you are looking for someone that's cheap and you don't fancy Florentino, I think Xhaka does have that ability to also give you some assists as well. I think he's got 3 so far this season for Sunderland. He's also just like crucial member of that side. He's going to be in there playing week in, week out. There's no way he's ever going to come out of that Sunderland side. So definitely someone that I would consider at that price point, and probably at the 5 mil price point, my favorite pick. And then in that sort of mid-range, maybe a little bit more expensive than Caicedo, the only one I think I really like is actually Iliman Ndiaye, interestingly enough. His CBIT plus recoveries is 10.97. And although that's like a little bit under the 12, so he's not going to be getting it every game, the fact that he's also on penalties for Everton, his expected goal involvements per 90 are quite good. 3 goals this season, 1 assist as well. Again, one of the key players in that team, I would say, that's going to be playing every week. I think he's really sort of an exciting pick that, again, can score points from various different avenues: goals, assists, DefCon, penalties, open play threat. Like, he has a little bit of everything. And the fact that his DefCon's up there around 11 does make him quite interesting, in that even when he doesn't return a goal or assist, he might be able to pick you up a 4-pointer.
Yeah, definitely really like Njay. Really happy that he's in my team. again, he is not going to get defensive contributions probably every gaming, but it's good that he has that bonus, let's say. He was fantastic also against Manchester City. He was on my bench. Uh, Luckily for me, he didn't get those attacking returns, but I'm really happy to have him in the long run. As you said, so many routes to points, penalties. He's pretty much the best player from Everton, I think. Now, again, he's not that explosive, let's say. He's that player with flair, like somebody asked at the start of the stream.
Yeah.
That player with flair, who's also good for defensive contributions. So yeah, Niels, I think Chaka at his price point is a great deal. Yeah, probably at that price, 5 millions. I would say Chaka is the one to go. I like also Florentino from Burnley, but Chaka is also on some set pieces, and that's what's doing it for me. So yeah, he has the potential to get also some assists. Now, if we move next, I'm going to show you on screen. Now again, I'm not sure if this is your favorite data or something like that. It is non-penalty expected goals per 90 minutes, and we'll be talking about teams. So here, if we forgot about some teams, we can add something here. Really surprising if you didn't watch FPL Premier League this season to see Crystal Palace are the first team on this list. They are expected to score 2 goals per game, pretty much.
That's crazy.
That's in the first 8 game weeks.
Crazy.
So yeah, Crystal Palace, Manchester City, Liverpool also are on the third place. I think that they got a little bit up with the chances they missed against Manchester United in game week 8 also.
That is, yeah, Palace at 2.03 is. Do you know what's even more crazy about Palace at 2.03 is they're bottom 3 for possession in the Premier League and they're top of expected goals. Like that shows how mental they are on the counter attack.
Yeah, I remember that game, Liverpool Crystal Palace.
They could have scored 6 in the first 40 minutes in that game.
It
They
was
could have been 6-0 up at half time.
chance after chance after chance. Yeah, they are good, and also a lot of people expected them to miss some creativity with Eberechi Eze, but it's looking like they changed the whole way of attacking pretty much without Eze. And to be honest, I didn't saw Mateta before as such a good counterattack forward, but he's doing the job.
He's been very good at like a bit of hold up play, winning the first ball, flicking it on. Yeah, I've got Palace in the notepad for a bit of tactical analysis this day, so I might be able to provide a little bit more insight after this week. But I think they've obviously been brilliant this season. They were 19 games unbeaten until that Everton game, and I just think Oliver Glasner is such a brilliant manager. And Palace have a lot of really really talented players, in my opinion, but they make do with what they've got as well, which is important.
Yeah, I agree. Probably, I don't want to say the most surprising team this season, Crystal Palace, but they were impressive for me.
Yeah, I've got to be nice about them because my brother's a Palace fan, so if I say mean things, I get beaten up one of them.
Yeah. So yeah, Manchester City on the second place, no surprises here. Now, pretty much all that expected goals per 90 is because of Erling Haaland, I would say. He's just a machine at the moment. So yeah, maybe that's missing from Manchester City. We don't really have other really amazing options besides Haaland. I mean, you have players like Doku, Foden, Reinders, but they are just not scoring the chances because they have chances. If you remember, Reinders had some chances in the last 2 game weeks, which easily could have been goals. But yeah, they are relying on Haaland at the moment.
He's paying off for them. He's paying off for them.
Brighton, Everton here, maybe surprisingly compared to last season, they definitely improve attacking wise. Everton, they got some really
Grealish
nice
coming in.
players.
Grealish coming
Grealish,
in has been big for them. The way they play, having Grealish to be able to dribble out of trouble a little bit and get Everton higher up the pitch, that's been such a good signing for them. Such a good signing.
yeah,
Him and
and
Ndiaye, like, great with the ball at their feet. And like Everton are a side that again don't have a lot of possession, play very direct football, try to counter attack. And they just get, by having Grealish and Ndiaye, they manage to have a little bit of a break from constantly defending because they can draw fouls, they can dribble past player, they can get the rest of the team up the field a little bit. It's something that since David Moyes came in, Everton have clearly got better at, because under Sean Dyche, they just couldn't stop defending because they couldn't get the ball up the pitch and get and just keep possession. Whereas as soon as Moyes came in, he got Ndiaye on the ball more. He's obviously now brought in Grealish, got him on the ball more, and is starting to be able to start a little bit more higher up the pitch, get some more attacks going because of these guys.
yeah, I agree. Also, Dewsbury Hall, another good addition to them.
Yeah, I've got to say that I didn't see that like at the start of the season, and I probably got that call wrong because I didn't think he was going to be great, and he's been very good for them.
Yeah, I considering bringing Welbeck for either Pedro or Gyökeres. Interesting. I was about to say Brighton here on the 7th place, a team who, I don't know, at least for me, maybe I underestimated them a little bit this season. They have some nice options in attack. Someone like Minte. Now again, Welbeck, he wasn't playing all the games, but when he's playing, he's a good option.
Yeah, I agree. He's Fabian Hertzler is another one that's a really good manager. If anything, I actually think Brighton have underperformed. Actually, I don't know, where are they in the table at the moment. They're what?
Yeah, probably.
Where are 10th or something? I actually think they've been underperforming this season. I thought Brighton, maybe at the back end of last season, fell away a little bit, but
10, yeah.
like Hertzler's so, I think he's a really smart manager. The way they play, like their attacking style, the attacking patterns that they have with their forwards are really nice. The like high energy, high intensity press. Like last season, I know put a lot of big teams under a lot of pressure. Man City, Liverpool really struggled first half with them. I think Brighton are a team where the second half of the game, if they run a little bit low of energy, then they start to struggle a little bit, and they need to make those early subs to sort of make an impact. I think they would be a team that would really struggle if they were in Europe. I think if they had to play 2-3 games a week, they're a team where the style of play that they have, they struggle when they have more than one game a week, and they don't. It's not like they have a massive squad where they're able to rotate like Liverpool, City, Arsenal have. They've got to make do with what they've got. But I think very good, very well coached. Yeah, I think there are a few good coaches in the Premier League, but yeah, very well coached.
Yeah, also they had a lot of amazing players this season, but that's another topic, I guess. I moved also. If you have anything to add on these teams, I think that we covered these main teams. Now we're going to look at the bottom list on the same stats, and yeah, the worst teams on this statistic are Burnley, West Ham, Sunderland, Aston Villa on the 17th place.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, I can tell. I had Watkins and Rogers, so I can tell they were really not great attacking wise. But the thing is, they didn't get chances, not scoring goals. Now they are turning it a little bit in the last 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, I think with Villa, I think Daniel Marlon surprised me at the beginning of the season that he didn't really get the minutes. He was really good in pre-season. Obviously got the start this week over Watkins. Was that because Watkins was unfit after England and hitting the post and getting that knock? Was it because Emery wanted to try something a little bit different? Obviously, Watkins has been struggling for Villa. Buendia as well, coming into that side, scoring like that goal was unbelievable. The pass from Matty Cash, unreal. The touch from can't remember who, I think it's Dina, and the touch, little pass back, and Buendia with the dribble and the left-footed shot, like brilliant. And they're at, I think, 5.1 and 5.3 million. So definitely two to keep an eye out from Villa. I think their fixtures get really nice from around game week 12 onwards. So probably not for me at the moment, Villa, especially with these stats that you're showing. But I would say over the last sort of 2-3 games, maybe they're starting to look a little bit better. And Unai Emery, again, another one of the very good coaches in the Premier League that you think would be able to turn it around.
Yeah, definitely. They are not, I mean, they weren't the same like they were last season. They were an incredible team last season, if you remember. Also, in the Champions League, they got so far. But yeah, at some point, I think that they're going to play better. They can't play worse, surely. Now, looking at looking at West Ham, maybe a midfielder I forgot to mention, someone like Paqueta. He's also okay for defensive contributions, I think. But yeah, it depends how much time you want him for, because the fixtures are going to end soon for West Ham, the good fixtures, I mean. But yeah, he's definitely another okay option at that price. I think he's 5 million or something like that.
Yeah, 5.9, I think Paqueta is. Yeah, I mean, one that I wouldn't go near. I think he's on pens, right? I think that's probably why people like him. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not one for me. I'm not like West Ham. I mean, this list is pretty much telling you all you need to know about West Ham. Just not enough chances created. Like Bowen, even I love Bowen, and I just can't get him in my team because West Ham don't create enough.
Yeah, I agree. Also, surprisingly, maybe on this list, I mean, not surprisingly, they are on the 12 place, not 20. Newcastle. Again, Voldemar scored in the last 4 games or something like that, I think, in the Premier League. But Newcastle, the truth is, they didn't create a lot of chances, I would say.
Yeah, I think Newcastle also struggled early on when they didn't have anybody in that place and they were playing Gordon up top and Elanga up top and Asula up top, and I think they'll start to get better and they'll start to move up this list as the season goes on. I think this is probably a little bit skewed by their first 4 or 5 game weeks where they just didn't have anyone.
Yeah, also they had tough fixtures, if I remember well. In the start of the season, they were playing, I think, Liverpool, Arsenal, something like that. So yeah, the problem with Newcastle, I would say, they have a lot of wingers right now, and I'm not so sure which one I would go for now. Obviously, it would be right now Anthony Gordon. But yeah, other than Voldemort, I'm not so confident about their other midfielders. Obviously, thinking about that we have a lot of good midfielders at the moment, it's tough to argue to buy Gordon. But yeah, as we talked before, from this list, pretty much, which players are going to interest you in the future, let's say, because I don't see a lot from these teams, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably in the same boat as you. I think Walter is probably the only one because I think Newcastle will improve and they don't have any other strikers until Wissa comes back, and then obviously he's off to AFCON. I think the Newcastle mids, as you said earlier, minutes are an issue. They're going to rotate as well because of Champions League. And I don't really... Spurs fixtures starting to get a little bit less good, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Um,
Gameweek 9 it's Everton, it's okay, but from Gameweek 10 it's going to
yeah,
be a little bit rough.
and the
Uh,
rest, like I don't love.
yeah,
Leeds, I'd be amiss to not talk about Leeds because I've got a member on my channel that's a big Leeds fan and always make sure I let people know about Leeds. So the only one that I would even slightly consider, I mean, I probably wouldn't consider any of the Leeds assets, but maybe Statch. He's on direct free kick. Maybe Statch or a Longstaff. Longstaff's on quite a few set pieces for Leeds. I don't like Calvert-Lewin. I can't say who should
same.
pick. I know we've talked about this before, but his finishing's just so bad.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't talk today about Calvert-Lewin, but I have the same the same feelings about
Well,
him. Again, I get it. If you want a cheap forward at that price, probably there aren't a lot better than him. Maybe Foster from Burnley, but at the same time, I would just go find some 0.2, 0.3 millions and get Caicedo as your rate attacker than Dominic Calvert-Lewin for sure, I think.
yeah, I think unless you still need to bench boost,
Yeah.
like he wouldn't be in consideration. But I think now that Kroupy Junior has become a potential option, like you can bench boost with Kroupy now, and you don't have to bother with Calvert-Lewin. You can just stick 4.5 mil Kroupy, hope he plays. Almost, I
Yeah.
think that's probably become the go-to on a bench boost.
Yeah, better if you're going to use it soon, I would say.
Yeah, it
But yeah.
was funny because I think on my live stream last week, someone had Kroupy, Ballard, and Dubravka and someone else on the bench, and I was like, oh, not sure if you should be bench boosting that.
Oh,
God, I hope
yeah.
he bench boosted because double from Kroupy, clean sheet from Ballard, DefCon points for him as well, and 9-pointer from Dubravka. He's probably got like 30 points sitting on the bench.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, with Ballard and Dubravka, I get it. I think they were decent to bench boost, but with Krupi, nobody could have known that he's going to start. It
I
was
think
just
actually, do you know what's crazy is I think the other one was Achiampong of Chelsea at
oh,
3.9
okay,
who scored.
okay,
I think that was his bench, and I was like, nah, I probably won't play. Kroupy probably won't play. You can't bench boost that. You'll have to make a few transfers. Oh my god, FPL is a horrible game.
yeah. With the bench boost now, because of defensive contributions, it just feels like you can just get it out of the way because it's really tough to it's really hard to nail. I don't know exactly what a good bench boost means. Maybe over 15 points or something like that would be okay, let's say. Uh, but yeah, basically, if you have decent fixtures and your players are playing, yeah, I would use it most cases because it's just a really un unexpected cheap, let's say. Yeah. Okay. So I think that we talked about pretty much every team for Game Week 9. A lot of things I'm sure are going to change after all the games, after all the press conferences. So yeah, hopefully this stream is going to be helpful for some people. Now, if you don't mind, we can move to some questions. Let's spice it up a little bit in the last part, if you have the time, for sure.
Yeah. No, sure, no problem.
Okay, so for Game Week 9, who is your differential? Who is your differential pick? I mean, yeah, this is a weird question, I would say. But if you want to go for a super differential, let's say.
Hang on, let me just quickly pull up the fixtures, and I'll give you my answer. Who's my differential pick for Game Week 9?
Who you think is going to score the most points as a differential, let's say? Under, I don't know, 15%. It doesn't need to be exact.
Dan Ballard versus Chelsea.
Okay. Nice. Nice. So you're hoping he's going to score, I guess.
Clean sheet, DefCon, possible goal.
Nice.
Let's see.
Next one is not so such a fun question. Do you plan transfers with fixtures in mind or focus more on form? You asked me this question, now I'm asking you this question.
Yeah, nice return of serve.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say similar to you. I'm probably a little bit more fixtures based, but there are certain players like a Salah and a Haaland where when they're on form, don't worry about the fixtures, you get them in your side.
Yeah, agreed.
Jared Bowen also is another one of those. When he's scoring every week, you need to get him in because he runs like crazy and he always screws my teams over.
Yeah, in the last part of last season, he was great.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Who do you think is the best captaincy option this week besides Haaland?
I think Semenyo is a nice option against Nottingham Forest. I think he's got a few different routes to points. I also don't mind Bruno at United against Brighton as well. I think he could score some points as well.
Okay.
I like. I don't know if people still own Salah, but I mean Salah's always an option.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be going for him this week, but he's always an option.
Yeah, just looking the fixtures. Yeah, Salah against Brentford. Yeah, Chelsea against Sunderland. Maybe. I don't know. Probably someone like Enzo would be close to the best option from Chelsea, but again, Sunderland were good this season, so yeah. Next up, if you're building a wildcard team right now, who are the three must-haves? The three must-haves. Let's say your first three players.
Haaland, Semenyo, Gabriel, followed by Daniel Munoz.
Best three defenders to own for the next 10 game weeks.
Sorry, what was it?
Best three defenders to own for the next 10 game weeks.
Best three defenders to own. Definitely one Gabriel, Munoz and Semesi.
Munoz.
Yeah, Munoz and Semesi.
Munoz, of course.
He's my man. He's my pick. Hopefully, he comes good for me, and then we'll point everyone back to this stream.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm going to put some timestamp, so maybe someone is going to look like to look to this section. So now the next ones are going to be the same. The best three midfielders to own for the next team. Now maybe this is a little bit repetitive because we talked a lot about options, but yeah, we're going to move quick.
For the next
10, let's say, or 5.
For the next,
let's
yeah,
say.
okay. I'd say Enzo. Well, I mean, I think Semenyo is a great, but outside of like who I said the three main, so outside of a Haaland, Semenyo, Gabriel, is that what you're asking, or including?
No, the best three midfielders.
Yeah, I mean, I think Semenyo for sure. I'd probably say Enzo. And for the next 6?
For the next
6 weeks.
For the next
6 to 8.
6 to 8, yeah.
I'm gonna stick my neck out and say maybe Cody Gakpo or Bruno Fernandes.
Okay. So no Bukayo Saka.
I think Saka's good for the next 3 or so. And then I think as 12-13 comes along, I will question whether I will keep him.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I would
probably
say
will keep him. I think he's good, just to be clear, but I wanted to try and pick some people that I thought could be super explosive over that period.
Yeah, obviously it really depends also on the budget. So yeah, for me I would say pretty much the same. Saka, Enzo Fernandez, and I don't know, Semenyo. Yeah, probably. So if you would be forced to have 3 forwards, let's say, if you play with 3 forwards, who are the ones to have for the next 10? Obviously, one is Haaland.
If I was forced against my will to have 3 forwards, yeah. I'd have Haaland, Mateta, and Walter Marder. at this present moment in time, those are the three that I think are probably the best picks. Forwards is a little bit difficult, and you probably want to jump on whoever's in form. That's often my take on forwards, is when they're in form, they tend to score. Not just score, but like score on a run. So jump on when they get on a run over that period. Don't be afraid to jump on a bandwagon. If they're scoring, they often continue to score.
Yeah, good advice there. As Robert said, Gakpo from 12, Haaland, Mateta, and Isidore.
Isidore is a really nice one, actually, that we didn't really talk about today, but
yeah,
I think he looked great. He scored this week for Sunderland. I know it was offside, but really nice finish. He scored in almost all of Sunderland's away games as well. Yeah, definitely a nice cut price option at 5.5 if you are on the 3 striker option.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I know that he didn't start all the games, so I think that's his only problem, I would say, the minutes.
Yeah, I think he's got that starting spot though now. I think at the start of the season he wasn't, and he was coming off the bench. But I think he's done so well now that he's probably likely to be in that Sunderland team. But like you said earlier, like the Sunderland fixtures are now starting to become a little bit more difficult. So they've had their nice run. Are they going to be able to keep this momentum through a difficult swing of fixtures? I'm not sure.
Yeah. If you could pick only one player to have for the next 5 fixtures, Ismail Assar or Enzo Fernandez? Now, yeah, we talked
Next
about
5?
them. Yeah.
Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. Okay, next. What's been your biggest regret this season in FPL? Now that's maybe a little bit harsh of a word, but maybe your worst decision or something like that.
I probably have 2. Or yeah, I'd probably say I have 2. I'll say one was bench boosting in game week 1. Didn't really work for me. But I mean, regret and not. I mean, really, it's just my game week 1 team. Like I could have gone a different route, and I didn't. And I said last year I would go for a Salah Haaland draft, and I think if I had done both of them in game week 1, it would have been a much better. It would have been easier for me to move things around. And 2 is probably going Calafiori over a Gabriel or Timber. I just like that Arsenal spot really upsets me because I know he's the worst of the 3 picks, and every week Timber and Gabriel outscore him. Hurts me a little bit inside.
Yeah. I mean, regret is a little bit too much. Obviously, I had Mateta in my team, wildcarded him out in game week 6. But yeah, I just obviously you can say that at that time it felt okay. Now we can't just knee jerk about his hat trick. Obviously, I sold him to get Haaland, so yeah, I guess it worked out.
Sort of okay then.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, maybe not jumping early enough on Semenyo would be for me, but yeah, not too much to say about that. If you could give one piece of advice to anyone struggling this season, what would it be?
Invest in your defense. Use your transfers now. And then if it doesn't work it out in 16 when you get 5 free transfers. But I'd say invest in the defense. Use your if you have already, then use your transfers on your midfielders now, because I think if you can jump and hit the right people at the right time, we've still got a few more weeks before it starts to become a little bit more template of a team. And then just if it be aggressive, and if it doesn't work out, you can fix it with those 5 free transfers in game week 16.
Yeah.
Don't take hits.
Don't take too many hits, I would say.
Don't take -12s.
Yeah.
Sorry to the guy earlier. DM McDonald, or was it?
Don't
Mate,
go
it
for
might be McAnally.
don't go for Leeds United assets at all. I mean,
This is so. Rob is one of my members. He's a Leeds fan. So he's lying through his teeth there. His strategy is to go for as
Okay.
many Leeds United players as possible.
Okay. Yeah, he wants to keep them for himself, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Triple captain DCL next week, I think.
Oh my God. I mean, hopefully it's going to work for him. Not a lot of people have DCL, so it's not going to impact me that much.
Yeah, West Ham, good game, good fixture. Probably get a hat trick.
Yeah. I mean, he's on penalty, so who knows? If you could only captain one player all season, who would it be? Now, obviously, this question feels really easy right now, how the things are going right now. So,
I'll tell you what, I'll answer it interestingly, because if I took out Haaland and Semenyo from that, who it would probably be, and I could only captain one player all season, I would probably captain Gabriel.
okay, yeah, a nice, a good one, I would say. Yeah, not too much to say. Now, if I think which players, probably I would still go a Liverpool player if I can go for Haaland or Semenyo. But that's just mainly because I'm a Liverpool fan. So
Yeah, that's fine, mate. You got to go with the heart.
and yeah, Captain Salah is not such a bad move anyway. Usually,
Never a bad option, except for the first 8 game weeks of the season.
yeah. A little more, a more funny question. Which chip/rule would you add in FPL?
Which cheat?
Chip?
Oh, cheap rule.
Chip or rule?
What do you mean? As in, like, what would I add to make it better?
No, what would you like to have in FPL? Let's say you want the assistant manager back or something like that.
What would I like? Get rid of captaincy.
Okay.
I mean, I don't, but I no. Like, to be honest, I don't, because it's fun. But damn, I'd be so good at FPL if there wasn't captaincy, because I suck at picking captains. I actually suck at picking captains. It's so easy. Like, it's so easy when I can just pick Salah every week. Like, when I have to think about who to pick, I never get it right. And then I always want to go against a Salah or Haaland, because I'm like, it's so boring. You're just picking the same one every week. And then I go for somebody else, and I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, 2 points. And like Haaland scores 20. And you're like, what's the point in going against it? It's just killing me. Yeah. I reckon I'd be top 10K in the world every year if there was no captaincy.
Okay. Yeah, the thing is, the last years was like this, right? One season Haaland smashed it, one season Salah smashed it. Now, obviously, in the last season, let's say, it was a little bit of a mixed. Now, again, mostly Haaland didn't score a lot of points compared to Salah, but yeah, I agree, it is boring. For an example, when Haaland got in the Premier League his first season, it was just a no-brainer to captain Haaland. That was really boring. Yeah, if I would add a rule regarded with the captaincy, the same, I thought a lot about this. I would try to. So the rule would be you can't captain the same player 2 consecutive times. I mean,
that's
that
a
would
great
be
rule.
Yeah, it's not something out of the world, and I didn't invented it, but I just did really like it when I saw someone talking about this. Even maybe, so let's say you can captain for 2 weeks, but then you need to switch.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that. I think that's a great rule. That's better than no captaincy.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a good one that I've seen before, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, for sure. Robert, just remove it and change it to a completely different one. I mean, yeah. FPL MV, when he was on my stream, he said something like to add limitless. Now, I'm not exactly familiar with it because I don't play Champions League. This chip was in FPL before I started playing, or pretty much all out attack, I guess.
Yeah, that's
So
a good
those
one.
would be interesting, I think. But yeah, then
Can
we
I
just
have an
have
all-out defense chip?
yeah, I'm really curious what's going to happen from next season. I think that they're going to keep defensive contributions because it is interesting from my point of view, but it's curious to see what they're going to change regarding it, maybe.
What I thought was cool in the Club World Cup, I don't know if people would like this in FPL, but you used to be able to pick a captain for game week 1. And if you had a captain on a Saturday and he did rubbish, you could switch the captain out to the Sunday. And I thought that was quite cool. You got like 2 chances.
Yeah, that's how it is in Champions League, I think. Uh, in UEFA Champions League. So yeah, it is nice because obviously maybe you're captaining a player, I don't know, in the first day, uh, and he's out of nowhere on the bench, or I don't know, out with an injury. It feels a little bit harsh, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, I've got to say that I think as a content creator, I really hope they don't bring that rule in because that just builds so many more layers and so many more things I need to think about. So yeah, although I said that, don't bring it in. It is a fun rule, but it'd be horrible having to look at every single fixture for the rest of the season and plan out what the best teams are to buy players for captaincy.
The next question: which was your best ever finish in FPL?
I couldn't tell you the exact number, but I have finished once inside the top 10k.
Sorry, I read in the comment. So you finished inside top 10k?
Yeah. Last year, I think I finished either, I think 40k. I think last year I finished.
Okay.
That was my first year doing content creation.
Okay. Yeah, I started before, I think. Then I stopped a little bit because of my job, and now I'm getting back into it. So yeah, my best finish. Sorry.
I never used to take FPL that seriously. I just play with some mates and just I didn't really know how to do well in it. So it was only really last year is the first year I started taking it a bit more seriously.
To be honest with you, I play FPL in a mini league with my friends, and yeah, I'm just smashing them every year. And when I had good seasons in the mini league, I had also good seasons overall, which basically I think that makes sense. But it is also not that easy to think, I don't know, to play for overall rank because it changes your perspective of the game. Maybe you're playing more afraid or something like that, I feel. Because for an example, last year, for the first part of it, I didn't make content on YouTube. And yeah, my best finish was last year 4K.
4K, amazing.
4K, yeah, was my best finish. And yeah, maybe because I don't know, I played without fear for the first part, and then obviously I started making content and still got a good finish. But yeah, it is a difference of approach, I guess.
I think you got like, there's no point like playing FPL for the content. Like I don't know if some of the content creators do that, but like, I just won't have any fun if I do that. Like last season, I know. To be fair, last season at the end of the season, I probably could have finished higher than I did. I think it was 40k, but I know I was like 20k at one point. But I was in a mini league with my mates that was like $400 to the winner. And instead of bothering with my overall rank, I just set my team to the exact team that the guy behind me had. And I was just pissing him off every week. And I knew that he could never catch me if we had the same team.
That's really funny.
So I managed to win and I won like $400, but I probably slipped like 20k in rank because I was doing that. I probably could have finished top 10k last year actually. But yeah, I'd say it's just not fun if you're not like enjoying it. Like even this year on my live streams, I'll do bets with my subscribers and stuff. And I lost my triple captain this year to one of my subscribers who told me like what game week I had to do it in. And Rob, who's in this chat, like donated on stream to make me triple captain VVD. So he did actually save me triple captaining João Pedro otherwise, which I think I would have finished even worse that week. So yeah, I mean, you've got to have a bit of fun with it at the same time. I mean, create content, like help other people. But in my opinion, like I think I'm good at FPL and I think I can give you good advice. But I also want to have fun and like enjoy it while I'm playing. So
Yeah, fair enough. You can have fun also giving good advice in FPL, so it's not one or the other. I also don't think that the rank is exactly why would you should follow a content creator or something like that. Definitely not.
yeah, I mean, I think like if you've got consistent rank over years, it definitely shows that you know what you're doing. But at the same time, you can find people that have started content creating recently that have really good knowledge about football, that have really good data, and just have some interesting points of views to follow. So I know that it's a rank's obviously important. Like if you're doing well, then you're obviously good at it. But my girlfriend's 30k in the world, and we've had the same team since game week 4. So there is also an element of luck, especially at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Next up, we have a few questions. Would you rather? So we're going to. Would you rather never own Haaland all season or always have to captain a defender?
Always have to captain a defender. 100%.
Okay.
I want Haaland.
Yeah. Would you rather wildcard every 4 weeks or never use chips at all?
Wildcard every 4 weeks or never use chips at all? Wildcard every 4 weeks, no?
Yeah, I mean, there isn't a right or wrong. Yeah,
Isn't that great? Having a wildcard every 4 weeks?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, if you're going to wildcard every 4 week, yeah, I guess probably. I'm not sure how good you're going to be with team value, I would say, but yeah, it's probably more like a question. Maybe there are some people who would prefer to not have any chips, and that would be the fully.
Oh, as in everybody had no chips, not just me. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I think that, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I see more. I don't know. Maybe that is a bit more interesting, actually, when you say it like that. If there were no chips whatsoever. No, it wouldn't be as fun. I think wildcard every 4 weeks.
Yeah, clearly. Clearly it's more fun that way. Would you rather have Pep Guardiola manage your FPL team or Jurgen Klopp pick your captain?
What? Jurgen Klopp what?
Pick your captain.
I can't pick Pep Guardiola. I thought you said Jurgen Klopp licked my butt, and I probably would have chose that still. I can't be picking Pep Guardiola for anything. So Jurgen Klopp, pick my captain, please. That is my major weakness at FPL as well, so that'll be ideal.
Nice. Would you rather have prime Thierry Henry or prime Cristiano Ronaldo in your FPL team?
Oh. Is Cristiano Ronaldo a forward or a midfielder?
I mean, I didn't play the game when he was playing for Manchester United, to be honest, but I think that he was a midfielder.
Then I would go Ronaldo.
Yeah, fair enough. A tough question anyway.
That's very hard. I mean, if it was a season that Henry got 24 goals and 20 assists, then maybe Henry.
Yeah. Never have Haaland for sure because he's gonna sleep like last season. Okay.
There's no choice, fully Henry. I think if they're both forwards, I'd choose Henry as well. But
yeah,
you get the extra point for the midfield.
It really depends if you're taking Cristiano Ronaldo for basically his Man United days, or we're taking his full career, I guess, because Henry clearly was the better Premier League player. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. I probably agree with that.
A question maybe you're going to like: would you rather play 5 defenders every week or captain a defender every week?
5 defenders every week, so I can captain Haaland.
Yeah, it looks like this is the way to go, I guess. Would you rather get free season tickets for life, let's say for the team you support, or win FPL once?
Oh, definitely win FPL once. Definitely win FPL once. I could
Okay.
probably buy season tickets for life if I won FPL once.
I mean, do you get that big of a prize?
Well, no, but I mean the glory, and I will be forever renowned as an FPL winner. I'm sure I
Yeah.
can roll into places and be like, "Give me a free ticket. Do you know who I am?"
Yeah. Interesting. FPL MV said he would rather get free season tickets for Liverpool. He's also a Liverpool fan, but I guess, yeah,
No
both
way.
of these options are great. I probably would
Well,
take to win FPL.
I guess I also live in Australia, so it's a little bit harder for me with the free season tickets. Probably don't stretch as far for me because if they gave me free flights as well, then maybe I would take it.
Yeah, same for me. Maybe if I lived in UK, maybe I would think a little bit differently. But from Romania to take a plane every week,
That's right. Yeah,
but
free
yeah,
flights. I'll take the season tickets for life.
yeah. Would you rather score 100 points in Game Week 9, but forget the deadline in Game Week 10, or have 14 points in Game Week 9, but don't forget the deadline in Game Week 10? So
100
yeah,
points.
pretty much, yeah. If you take the 100 points this game, you can forgot about your team. Yeah,
100 points for sure.
yeah, probably because our teams are okay even if we forget about them for a week, I think.
That's right. Our
So
captain will probably still be on Haaland anyway, so that's all right.
yeah. Uh, would you rather triple captain Munoz versus Burnley or Haaland versus Arsenal?
Munoz v Burnley.
Yeah,
Munoz v Burnley.
probably
100% actually, Munoz v Burnley.
probably this season it makes it a little bit easier.
I mean, if
Uh,
you had said Haaland, I would have still thought carefully about it. I would have still thought carefully about that.
yeah, Haaland also. I don't know. I don't really rate him to score against Arsenal, to be honest with you. But
Agree.
uh,
Even
yeah,
if you said Haaland against Newcastle, I still would have gone Munoz, I think.
yeah, probably. So yeah, these were my questions. If you want to add something,
Who's your all-time favourite footballer and all-time favourite FPL player, and why?
that's tough. My favorite FPL player has to be Mohamed Salah because I started playing FPL in 2018. In the same year, he got to Liverpool, and then yeah, he was just amazing in those years. The rest is history. So if you're talking about points, right, has to be Mohamed Salah. Also, for my bias as a Liverpool fan, yeah, has to be a Liverpool player, I guess. But my favorite ever player, uh, probably Steven Gerrard,
Nice.
I would say. For you?
Favorite ever FPL player, and this is controversial as a Liverpool fan, and it's got to be Wayne Rooney because I once triple captained him in a week where he scored like 20 something points, and I think United beat Arsenal. It was the week that United beat Arsenal 8-2, first game week of the season, and I had like Wayne Rooney, Ashley Young, and someone else, and I scored like 130 points in the week. So for that, it has to be that specific week.
Fair enough.
Favorite ever player. I don't know if I have an answer to that.
It's tough.
Don't know if I have an answer to that. It's probably Ronaldinho. Because just when I was a kid, all the Jogan and Benito stuff, I used to practice all his skills in the back garden. I was always trying to do like everything that he did. I just loved him. I still do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except for that goal he scored against England in the World Cup.
Yeah, obviously,
Mark
it depends. If you ask me, obviously the best player ever, that's another discussion. For me, it has to be Messi, but yeah, that's another discussion. And I wasn't that connected to Barcelona like I was to Liverpool, but obviously I got all that period from when Messi got his debut, and yeah, it was just crazy to think now what we were able to see. Talking about general football,
Yeah, for sure.
it
For
just
sure.
doesn't feel the same yet at the moment.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that we're going to end the stream right here. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining. Make sure you subscribe also to Adam, FPL, the English Aussie. Thank you so much, Adam, for joining the stream. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Really appreciated that you accepted the invitation.
No, thanks, mate. It's been great. Don't forget, everyone, smash that like button, give a subscribe to SPL Dennis. Yeah, it's been a real pleasure, mate. Thanks for having me on. It's been fun to just chat football and life and random would you rather questions, which made me
Yeah,
consider my life choices.
sorry for keeping here for 3 hours or something like that. Didn't plan for the stream to be that long, but yeah,
That's all right. I probably talk too much anyway, so no problem.
my bad. So yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. I wish you all a good evening, and we're going to see you next time, maybe, right?